Hi guys. I hope you enjoy listening to these stories. Don't forget to leave a comment, hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Chapter 51 Next Date and Childhood Friends Regrets. Eiji's POV. It was interesting. Ikijo-san speaks to me excitedly. I know. It was a really good movie. I cry every time I see the Vietnam War scene. It's a movie that won a lot of famous awards. It's in my mom's Blu-ray movie collection, so I borrowed it and watched it many times. It's a really good movie. You can enjoy it on Blu-ray, but watching it in a theater is the best way to feel the movie's realism. The last part is a little sad, but I like it because that part feels very close to real life. It's a movie that makes me happy. It was great to watch it together. Ikijo-san smiles with satisfaction. Come to think of it, she also talked to my mother about movies. Mom is such a fan of foreign dramas and movies that she set up a subscription service in the break room. Even if there's a movie she likes that isn't on her subscription list, she'll happily rent the DVD and take time out of her busy schedule to watch it. As I said, since the movie was released before I was born, it would be difficult for me to see it in a theater unless I had an opportunity like this. I also never thought I'd get to see it on the big screen. During the corona pandemic, there was a period when they couldn't release new movies, so it seems that this theater survived by showing revivals of older movies. The customers also requested it, and it seems they still have slots for classic movie revivals. I see. Well, let's come back when they start showing interesting movies again. I said this without thinking, but I quickly realized the significance of the matter. This is like promising another date with the most beautiful girl in school. Despite my hesitation, Ikijo-san laughs. You're asking me out on another date, right? Yatta! I'm looking forward to it. There are still so many great movies we can watch together. Oh yeah, tell me about your favorite movies too, senpai, she replied immediately. There will always be another time. My heart soars with this hope. Miyuki's POV. Why did I let this happen? Why did I do such foolish things? Regret consumed my heart. I wanted to continue my happy relationship with Eiji. I knew it was my fault. But I didn't know why. I was most afraid that if I got too close to senpai, it would be discovered and my relationship with Eiji would end. So no matter what, my relationship with Kondo-senpai must not be revealed to Eiji. I thought that when Kondo-senpai graduated from high school, he would naturally disappear. I felt bad for Eiji, but I told myself I'd only play with fire for a short time. Thinking like that, I tried to justify my betrayal. It would be a waste not to have fun while I was young. It's okay because I have a destined boyfriend. It's okay as long as we love each other. Senpai had prepared a way for me to escape. So I used it. But that day, the day Eiji found out about my affair, my heart was crushed. I couldn't return to those happy times. I felt impatient and full of regret about what would happen if I lost Eiji. After all, I had spent more than half my life with him. It was bad. My despair-driven mind made a selfish decision. To erase the fear of rejection, I sought out senpai, who was supposed to love me. If I couldn't have a happy relationship with Eiji again, I didn't care what happened. Destructive and unclear desires. That's what created my lifelong regret, one that will never fade. In the end, I lost everything. I want to go back. I want to go back. I want to go back. I want to go back to that day. I wanted to celebrate Eiji's birthday properly and laugh together. I want to go back to before I met Kondo-senpai. I want to return to the pure version of myself that hadn't betrayed Eiji. I knew Eiji was the only one for me. If I had never met Kondo-senpai, I would probably still be laughing happily with Eiji. I hate myself for saying that. I feel nothing but self-hatred. Even though I betrayed him. Feeling suffocated, I stepped out the front door to get some air. I saw an envelope in the mailbox. Without thinking, I opened it. Inside were photos. Photos that plunged me further into a whirlpool of despair. Why? It's a lie, isn't it? You said you loved only me. Senpai. Please. 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 I don't want you to throw me away too. Inside the envelope were photos of Kondo-senpai entering a woman's house in a friendly manner. Arms linked, looking happy. Chapter 52 Helping People and the Caller and Teachers. We went to a cafe for lunch after watching a movie. Since my dad owns a fancy Western restaurant, I prefer such places. So, I took her to a Hawaiian cafe near the movie theater. Senpai, I've never been to a Hawaiian cafe before. It's exotic and stylish. Mom also likes this cafe, and we used to come here often on our days off. The loco moco and pancakes here are excellent. We ordered the loco moco for lunch and decided to share the fluffy pancakes. Although the garlic shrimp is also delicious, I decided not to order it since it was a date. Before our movie date, I remembered that this restaurant was nearby and made a reservation. It was a good decision because the restaurant gets crowded on holidays. I already knew the length of the movie, so making the reservation was easy. But you must be used to going on dates, senpai. Regardless of your appearance, you make a great partner. When we arrived at the restaurant, there was a long line of people waiting, and to be honest, I was a little nervous. But I was surprised when you told me that you had already made a reservation. Well, I did my best. Thanks to my mother and an ex-girlfriend, I don't want to remember, I'm pretty well trained. Even though dating Miyuki is a thing of the past, I feel that experience is in my blood. I'm glad to see an unexpected side of you. Besides, it's a high point for a girl when you suggest sharing a dessert. Yes, that too. Thanks to Mom. She always likes to have something sweet, but she hesitates to order a whole serving because she's worried about the calories. Really? I also want something sweet, so don't worry about it. In such situations, there's no need to say anything extra. Just act like a gentleman. Thank you. Ikijo-san smiled happily, hinting that she was aware of my attentiveness. We had a lovely meal together. Eating with Ikijo-san always brings a smile to my face. It's a happy time. We finished our meal and stepped outside. From now on, we would go shopping together. It seemed she wanted to look at various goods at the department store in front of the station. As we were enjoying ourselves, something unexpected happened. A grandpa walking in front of us fell down, clutching his chest as if in pain. "Hey!" Ikijo-san shouted, looking at him with a worried expression. I could only watch the scene, unsure of what had happened. The grandpa stopped moving and was breathing painfully. This is not good. When I had a part-time summer job working at an event, I took a CPR class as part of my training. I remember the faces of the firefighters who came in as instructors. What do we do in this situation? They taught me what to do in emergencies like this. I had no choice but to act. Don't worry, I can use what I learned in that rescue training. This is bad. Ikijo-san, go and find an AED. First of all, I needed to do everything I could to save this grandpa's life. But where? Ikijo-san was frozen, her face pale. I saw a police car parked earlier. I'm sure there's an AED in the police car. Even if they don't have one, a police officer might know where to find one. Convenience stores often have them too. I'll call an ambulance and take care of him. Oh, okay, I understand. She ran to the police car. I did what I was taught in training, checking the grandpa's consciousness, calling for help from those around me, and performing CPR. A kind man immediately called for an ambulance. Without hesitation, I acted to help the grandpa. Ikijo-san soon returned with a policeman and an AED. A nurse, who seemed to have just gotten off work and noticed the commotion, also came to help. I don't remember much about the next few minutes. Takayaniji's Po v. Takayaniji-sensei, sorry about the holiday. The principal apologized and looked genuinely sorry. No, I originally had club activities. I'm the advisor of the shogi club, and with a tournament coming up, I had to work today, my first day after summer vacation, to supervise the club activities. Thank you for contacting me immediately, said Iwai-sensei. We had hoped to hold the meeting yesterday, but the principal was on a business trip, so the meeting was postponed to today, Saturday, turning it into an emergency meeting. But if the person who took the picture is a student, we're in trouble. We need to find them and protect them immediately. The principal looked impatient and worried. Yes, they were brave but reckless to do this. If news of their actions gets out, even to the soccer club, they might try to retaliate against them. And if this turns into an attack, Iwai-sensei also looked worried. This is the worst situation. Takayaniji-sensei, do you have a solution? I don't want any more students to get hurt. The principal's concern was evident. Yes. I did a lot of research yesterday. Kondo and Amada were absent because they weren't feeling well, which was probably when the photo was taken. Since the photographer sent us such a photo, they must have a deep grudge against Kondo and the others or be a friend of Aono. There's likely a strong connection. I've narrowed down the list of students who fit these criteria from those who were absent or left early yesterday. I quickly showed the list of candidates. The photographer must be on this list. We need to protect our students. I don't want any more young people to get hurt over this. Chapter 53 Grandpa's Family and Kondo and Ikonobu. Eiji's Po v. While we were preparing the AED, a woman in her 30s came to our aid. What happened? The grandpa, whom I didn't know, suddenly collapsed, clutching his chest in pain. She just brought an AED. He didn't respond at all when I called out to him. Thank you. I'm a nurse, I'll take care of it. What's your name? Aono. Aono-kun. That's great. You've done a good job so far. I'll do chest compressions, and you get the AED ready. Don't worry, this AED will give you audio instructions when you turn it on, so just follow the instructions. What is your friend's name? The nurse gave me quick instructions. In fact, even in training, we practiced using the AED's automated voice. I'm Ikijo. What should I do? Yes, Ikijo-san. Would you please look for this grandpa's family nearby? Understood. Ikijo-san ran out. The policeman who came with her went to direct traffic. So the rescue continued. While we were frantically dealing with the situation, the ambulance arrived, led by the policeman. I think it took less than 10 minutes, but I was moving so much that it felt like it only took a moment. Thank you, Aono-kun and Ikijo-san. I'll take him to the hospital. It's okay, thanks to your quick action, it shouldn't be too serious. The nurse who helped me smiled in relief as she said this. After the initial shock, the grandpa regained consciousness. He was still half unconscious, but he said, thank you, thank you. The policeman checked the grandpa's ID and immediately contacted his family. The grandpa seemed to be regaining consciousness. Yokata. When I said that, Ikijo-san nodded. A little relieved, we left. I was so nervous. Grandpa, I'm glad he's okay. Ikijo-san took a deep breath and returned to her usual smile. It's all thanks to you, Ikijo-san. You moved really fast and saved his life. At my words, she shook her head with a smile. That's not true. It's good that senpai moved quickly. I was so scared that I couldn't stand on my feet. No, I was lucky this time. The nurse happened to be there. I could never have made it on my own. Still, it's very rare to find someone who can act so quickly for the sake of others. That's what I like about you. When she said that to me, my self-esteem, which had been shattered over the past day, seemed to be restored. Thank you. I thanked her with the most heartfelt smile I've seen in a long time. Nurses Po V, thank you very much. The grandpa's family, who rushed to the hospital, thanked me with tears in their eyes. Thanks to the proper and quick treatment, the grandpa survived. It looks like he'll be in the hospital for a while. No, don't thank me. Thank the students who prepared the AED. We would have been in a lot of trouble without them. They're the real heroes. I just helped out a little bit. No, I wanted to thank you first, and I also wanted to thank them. I wanted to thank them directly. I asked the police about them, but the police said they just left after the incident. Do you have any contact or information? I didn't expect them to just leave. At such a young age, I thought they would be a little proud of themselves for helping someone. It's amazing how young people are these days. I just happened to be there. Oh, but they said their names. I think it was Aono and Ikijo. Aono-kun and Ikijo-san? Thank you very much. I'll look for them, even if I only know their names. Yes. Well then, please excuse me. It's a bit tiring, but somehow I feel a sense of relief and satisfaction. The work is hard, but I have to do my best to keep up with that young student couple. I left the hospital in a happy mood. Ikanobu's house. Kondo's Povi. Kondo-kun, I love you. Enjoying the feel of her soft skin, I let go of my stress. Ei has a different quality from Miyuki. I guess I was a little tired of Miyuki. Oh yeah, that was great. I'm glad. It's all yours, Kondo-kun. Here's the annoying thing about this woman. She won't even go out with me, but she gets all girlfriend-like with me. Well, that's okay. Let's enjoy her as a plaything for a while. Hey, Kondo-kun. I'm the only one you should care about, right? I left everything for you, so don't cheat on me, okay? Cheat? I'm not even your boyfriend. You're just my toy. Crazy B_TCH. Yes, of course. I nodded to make her happy. I'm having fun here anyway. Chapter 54 Ikijo Ari's home and third woman. Ages Po V. We went shopping around the department store in front of the station, where there was a general store. I had never been to a general store before, but it was interesting. Most of the customers were women, but men could find it enjoyable too. There were finger massages, fluffy pillows, unusual bath salts, and snacks to try. I know, right? When I have time, I like to go to these stores too. I enjoy seeing all the unusual things. Ikijo-san laughs as she adds bath salts and cute notes to her basket. There are a lot of things I haven't seen before, so it's refreshing and stimulating. The foreign goods section had a variety of American candies and juices. I decided to try a cherry-flavored Coke. It felt nice to broaden my horizons like this. I wouldn't have even known about these juices if it weren't for this store. I'm glad you enjoyed it. She smiled happily. It's currently 4 p.m., and if you're a healthy high school student, it's time to start thinking about heading home. I'm a bit concerned about what to do with Ikijo-san's parents since she never talks about them. Senpai, what are we going to do after this? Ikijo-san asks with a hint of worry in her voice. What should we do? Would you like to have dinner with us as usual? Mom and brother would be happy. That's tempting, but I always get free service, and I feel bad about it. I think I'll pass today. I see. Actually, I was hoping to spend more time with her. Don't look so disappointed. Then would you like to come to my house? I always visit yours. Ooh huck. I let out a strange sound at the sudden invitation. By the way, there's no one there right now, so no one's home. Ikijo-san said cheekily. No, that's really not a good idea. What if there's a mistake? Oh, you're funny. Senpai, you're blushing because of my teasing. I live alone, so you don't have to worry about meeting my parents. Apparently, the teasing continues. But in her words, I sensed a little bit of gloom in her home life. All right, I won't hesitate then. What? Apparently, she's good at attacking but weak at defending. Ha, your face is red too. When I tease her, she makes a slightly embarrassed face and says, please don't tease me, then let's go. With that, she pulls my arm and leads the way to her house. Senpai, I wouldn't mind if you made a mistake, she says in a low voice. Kondo's povy, I leave Air's house. She has been living alone since her parents abandoned her. Whenever I get hungry, I usually go to her house, and she gladly cooks for me, which has become my usual routine. However, Airi is a very annoying woman, as she's easily carried away and has a lot of mental instability. Well, I'm going to keep this relationship for a while because I enjoy it too. As I'm walking home, my phone rings. Kondo-kun? Are you okay now? It's the girl I'm interested in, the one who introduced me to Miyuki. Yeah, what's wrong? No, it's nothing serious, but do you have any plans for tomorrow? Do you want to hang out? This girl is crazy about me too. Okay. What's up? Because I helped you hunt down Aono-kun and got no reward. I just wanted you to notice me a little. Ha ha. You betrayed a junior member of the club you adored, but you say funny things, because you asked me to. It's okay, I tried my best. Her sweet voice makes me happy, and I look forward to seeing her the next day. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Manager-san of the Literature Club. Chapter 55 Literature Club Manager's Dark Side and Home Dating. Tochibona's povy. I hung up the phone. Phew. I sighed and then lay down on my bed. What an idiot. People end up ruining their lives because of their lust. Kondo-kun, the monkey, is no different. We just happen to share the same goal. Well, the relationship that started as a release of lust has now become a conspiracy. I'm not worried, because if the scam is discovered, I won't have to take responsibility. After all, Kondo-kun is the one pulling the strings. It was all Aono-kun's fault. At first, he was the junior I fell in love with, but he trampled on my feelings and chose his childhood friend instead. On top of that, his literary talent far surpasses mine. After 3 years of effort as a club manager, I felt like a fool. That's when I turned to Kondo-kun. I wanted to use him to hurt Amada-san with his manipulative ways and, in turn, destroy Aono-kun's talent. That brought me such joy. It felt like a surge of omnipotence, as if I had become someone else entirely. I pretended to be a kind and gentle manager, so fooling him was easy. I assigned a second-year girl as the liaison between Amada-san and Kondo-kun. That way, I could manipulate everything without getting my hands dirty. As a good senpai, I'll just cause a little trouble for Amada-san, and that will suffice. But I never thought Amada-san would fall so low. She had a knack for being a bad girl. That was the only unexpected part. I didn't anticipate how easily she would succumb to Kondo-kun's temptations and make false accusations against Aono-kun. Thanks to her, my plan became even easier. I think it's time for Kondo-kun's downfall too. Someone leaked the photos of their secret meeting to the soccer club, creating chaos. I shouldn't get too involved, though. Otherwise, I might get dragged into it. But I wonder who took those pictures? It's a little unsettling. Probably not Aono-kun himself. If he were capable of such actions, he wouldn't have gotten tangled in a false accusation case to begin with. Could it be Akijo-san, who's been close to him lately? But she seems too innocent and pure to pull a trick like that. That means there's a third party involved. Kondo-kun hasn't noticed the threat. After all, he's just a monkey, foolish and overly self-indulgent maniac. Having a stupid pawn is convenient, but being too stupid is problematic. Oh well. This third party seems competent, but they can't interfere with me. There's almost no connection between us to begin with. Ages Po V, so this is Akijo-san's house. It's a pretty nice apartment. Does she live here alone? Well, she seems to have an assistant, but there's still something a bit odd about him. I'll bring you some tea, so please wait here for a moment. The room I was led to looked like a study, with several large bookshelves. There's an amazing number of books. It feels like a wealthy person's house. The books were neatly dusted and carefully organized. She must truly love books, given how many new releases are in her collection. On the desk was a family photo of 3 happy-looking people. It must have been taken when she was about to start elementary school. They looked like such a happy family. Thank you for waiting. Here is your tea. There are also some chocolates, so please enjoy them. Thank you. That's quite a collection of books. Have you read them all? The tea was served in elegant antique teacups, accompanied by expensive-looking imported chocolates. Some of them were my late mother's books, so I haven't read all of them. Still, you must have read a lot. This is heaven for a book lover. I'm glad you think so. Please feel free to come back anytime. She sipped her tea while watching me carefully. What is it? Senpai, please don't stop writing novels. Her unexpected words caught me off guard, delaying my reaction. After the incident, I had drifted away from writing, my favorite hobby. No, I had been thrilled to retrieve my manuscript from the literature club room. I still wanted to write, but a lingering trauma had held me back. I've read many books, so maybe it's just my opinion, but I really loved your story. It was warmer and gentler than any story I've ever read. I don't want something so beautiful to be ruined by something like this. I won't let that happen. Her sincerity pierced my heart. Hearing her words left me with no choice. Thank you. I've gained so much from you, Akijo-san. Perhaps, here, I have truly found myself. Chapter 56 Soccer Club in Crisis. Ueda's Po V. In the end, the friendly match was a disaster. We lost 4-1 to an inferior opponent. The coach was furious, throwing plastic bottles at us. But we didn't care anymore. What will happen if this continues? Who are the traitors in our club? If this drags on, the entire school will find out that some of the soccer club members have been bullying Aono. If that happens, not only will we be barred from competitions, but we might also face punishment from the school. This is something the culprit will have to bear for the rest of their life. Why don't you understand that? We, as teachers, will take this case seriously. Remember that. Takayama-Eiji-sensei's words echoed in my mind, repeating endlessly. During the last interrogation, I could laugh because there wasn't any solid evidence yet. But now, the situation is bad, really, really bad. When will the photographer report to the teacher? Maybe they already have. That would expose a small inconsistency in our previous testimony. If there's a gap in our supposedly perfect alibi, we'll need to improvise. We were thoroughly prepared before, but now we're forced to adjust on the fly. After we parted ways and the coach left, deep anxiety settled over us in the clubroom. This is impossible. We can't keep it hidden, I muttered without meaning to, and Aida, my classmate, turned to me with a startled expression. Hey, what's that supposed to mean? Impossible? Don't tell me you're thinking of betraying Kondo-senpai and the rest of us, he shouted hysterically, as if consumed by paranoia. Mitsuda-senpai and the captain also stared at me sharply. So did the other club members. No. I'm not going to betray anyone. It's just... I'm losing confidence that we can escape this. I mean, it was a weak excuse, and even my voice trembled. Damn it. Don't be stupid. You and Aida broke Aono's desk yourselves, right? Don't drag us down with you. Mitsuda-senpai grabbed my uniform roughly. Senpai was involved too. Huh? Don't you dare talk back to a senpai. You're the guilty one, so take responsibility. Don't drag me into this. If you can't keep it hidden, then kill yourself. Take responsibility for everyone, die, and no one will come after us. No way. Someone will stop this, I thought. But no one did. Everyone else looked at me with sharp eyes, as if convinced it was all my fault. Only the captain spoke up. "Mitsuda, let him go. Ueda, do you understand now? If you falter, we're all doomed. Don't act rashly. Am I the only one to blame? Even you, Captain, didn't stop it. In fact, you actively spread rumors behind the scenes. Why is it all on me? Damn it. Yes, I was forced to yield to the pressure from everyone around me. First, we need to find out who took those photos. I don't want to accuse anyone here, but it's not one of the club members, is it?" Everyone shook their heads at the captain's question. Stupid. If there was a culprit among us, they wouldn't confess. It could be anyone, a reserve player seeking revenge or a first year holding a grudge against a third year. "Senpai, we need to quickly find the person who took those photos. We'll beat them up and shut them up. If we don't, we're all finished." I blurted out everything I was thinking. After they told me to kill myself earlier, I wanted to redirect the club's anger onto someone else. Then, Aida sighed and walked toward a first year. "Ishigami. You've been bad-mouthing Kondo-senpai, haven't you?" He approached Ishigami, a first-year reserve player. "Good job, Aida. Now I'm in the clear." Ishigami panicked. "I wouldn't do that." "Then again, Yoshida, you bad-mouthed senpai to me." He immediately began shifting blame to others. The already distrustful soccer club members started turning on each other, hurling accusations and pointing fingers. Our club activities fell apart completely. Endo's POV. After leaving the soccer club, I placed the photos in Amada's mailbox and quickly walked away. By now, the soccer team must be in utter chaos, consumed by suspicion and doubt. They're probably desperate to find me, but they'll never figure it out. I can't think rationally anymore. Once they start doubting, they'll believe whatever is convenient and easy to accept. I'll go to hell too, but if I can take down Kondo, the soccer team, and Eiji, it'll be worth it. Mitsuda, you're Kondo's lapdog, aren't you? Go to hell with your master. I sealed an envelope filled with photos and moved on to the next phase of my plan. Chapter 57. Ex-girlfriend witnessed. Miyuki's POV. I haven't eaten today. I wallowed alone in despair. Before I knew it, the sun was setting. I sat in the house, alone, without curtains or lights. Completely isolated. No one had said a kind word to me. It's all my fault. No wonder. Eiji and his mother, the only ones who were always kind to me, are gone now. Even when my mother was late for work, I never felt lonely at Eiji's house. There was warmth there, a family that treated me as one of their own. My mother was angry because I betrayed the people who had done so much for me. Kondo-senpai only saw me as a toy. I should have known better. I should have realized it from the beginning. In the end, it was my own selfish desires that brought me to this point. When I looked at the photo I'd just seen, I calmed down briefly, but then, it felt as though my blood turned to ice, as if the warmth of my love had been a lie. What did I tell Eiji? No, don't leave me. If senpai abandons me, I won't be able to live anymore. Eiji is just my childhood friend, but he's a stubborn, stalker-like, lousy, violent boyfriend. Sorry, Eiji. I don't want to be your girlfriend anymore. Don't even talk to me at school. Remembering that moment fills me with nausea and intense self-loathing. Why did I say those things? I've regretted it countless times, but today the disgust feels sharper than ever. Since that day, when I had my first affair with Kondo-senpai, I haven't felt like myself, a stranger overtaken by madness. A wave of nausea swept over me. Why? Eiji was supposed to be a kind and loving boyfriend. I've always loved Eiji. He was my first love. I tried so hard to get close to him, and he finally fell in love with me. I loved him for his kindness, his warm stories, and his home that made me feel happy. But I've lost all of that. After my betrayal, Eiji stopped coming to the classroom. He was bullied by everyone, falsely accused, ostracized, and verbally attacked at his desk. And I didn't stop it. No, worse, I joined in and cornered him. I even called Eiji a stalker and accused him of being violent. Eiji, who had always been so kind to me, would never do such things. I was the one at fault all along. I'm the worst. I cheated on him on his birthday. It's not Eiji who deserves everyone's anger, it's me. I managed to leave the house and went to the convenience store to get some food. In the distance, I saw a couple crossing the street. I froze in place, unable to move. It was Eiji. He was smiling happily. Next to him was Ikijo Ari. The school idol. She was dressed so beautifully, with an air of effort and elegance that even I, as a person of the same S_X, couldn't help but notice. They looked like lovers on a date. Eiji wore a soft smile, the kind he would only show to someone he truly cared about. My mind went blank, and I quickly hid so they wouldn't see me. Thanks for today, it was a fun first date. Ikijo Ari smiled so warmly as she spoke those words. I'm really glad to hear that. I look forward to the next time. Oh, and I know it's a little late, but may I celebrate your birthday? What? How did you know it was my birthday? Mom told me. I really enjoyed today, and I wanted to do something special to thank you. Her sweet voice and her expression radiated a love so pure, so angelic, that even I felt captivated by her charm. Thank you. I'll look forward to it. At that moment, it hit me. Ikijo Ari had taken my place. Even Eiji's mother accepted her, proof that she had told her about Eiji's birthday. They were celebrating what should have been my moment with him. Everything precious to me had been taken. Maybe that's why I couldn't eat and ended up vomiting over and over. I lost all my strength. My vision blurred, and I struggled to breathe. I screamed silently, making sure they wouldn't hear me. Even as pebbles and dirt filled my mouth, I couldn't stop. My personal hell had only just begun. Chapter 58 Kondo is cornered. Kondo's POV. After my secret meeting with A, I returned home to an expected emptiness. My father was probably at work, and my mother was likely out somewhere. They were known as the masked couple. As long as I could leverage their status, I didn't care. A high social standing was an advantage, and with great parents, I could handle almost anything. I was also a talented soccer player and a good student. Thanks to that, my path as a soccer player was open. Even if I retired, I could take over my father's company. And if he became a congressman, I could step into his role. This is the benefit of the Japanese inheritance system. Born into a good family, my life is blessed in every way. Life is easy, and my world is full of roses. Oh, how lucky I am to have such amazing parents. I dare to say these words to myself, trying to counteract the creeping insecurity in my heart. My monologue echoed through the vast, empty house. Damn it, I feel pathetic. Suddenly, the phone rang. It was an unknown number, suspicious. I never answered unfamiliar calls, so I ignored it. But it rang again. And again. Who the hell are you? I answered in an angry tone. On the other end, a strange voice, high-pitched as if it had inhaled helium gas, responded. Kondo, you're finished. The voice was clownish, almost playful, like it was mocking me. Was he using some cheap voice changer? Ridiculous. I was about to hang up. Don't hang up. I'm the one who took your photos. Damn it. This is the guy. The bass_ed who's been after me. You son of a B_tch. You spread those filthy photos to the soccer club. I'll never forgive you. Spread? Oh, you mean when I accidentally dropped them in front of the club room? My bad. What do you want? I shouted at the top of my lungs. Keep your voice down. Or maybe next time, I'll accidentally drop them somewhere else. This bass_ed. Don't mess with me. I'll kill you. My father's a councilman. I can cover up small incidents like that, even silence the teachers. I've done it before, and I'll do it again. My blood boiled with rage. Oh, really? Then I won't hesitate either. His tone was taunting. Just a bluff. I'll find you, and when I do, I'll destroy you. I'll make you regret ever crossing me. I'm a genius. Someone like me can do whatever they want. I'll crush this bass_ed and make him beg. Is that so? It's a pity you don't see your own fault in all of this. Fault? Of course not. I'm the king. I'm the chosen one. What about Aono Eiji? The one you bullied and slandered? You know, I'm closer than you think. I'm always watching you. His words struck a nerve. How does he know about that guy? Is he a friend of his? Aono Eiji? He's weak. The weak are destined to be prey for the strong. They have no right to complain. I calmed myself enough to hang up. I slammed the phone to the ground, shattering the screen. The pieces mirrored the cracks in my composure. I'm the chosen one. I'll be fine. Even if the soccer club abandons me, even if the school turns against me, my future is still bright. Yes, I'll get back on track in college. Am I scared? Will I be ruined? No way. Keep dreaming. but the negativity creeping into my thoughts left me frozen for a moment. Damn it! Damn it all! Endo's povey. He truly is extraordinary. As I walked away from the payphone, I sighed at the idiocy of the self-proclaimed king. My plan was moving smoothly. Several seeds had been planted. Now, I just had to wait for them to sprout. Chapter 59 Conflict between cheating couple. Miyuki's povey. I collapsed on the spot, but after a while, the dizziness subsided, and I managed to stand. It seemed Eiji and Ikijo-ari were completely unaware of my presence. I bought some soup from a convenience store, something easy to heat, and ate it as soon as I got home. Mealtime, once enjoyable, had become a mere obligation to survive. I couldn't help but wonder what Eiji and Ikijo-ari were doing now. Were they having a pleasant meal at Kitchen Aono? Maybe they'd gone to a more upscale place, or perhaps tonight was something even more special. My head swirled. Although I should be hungry, I had no appetite. Suddenly, Kondo-senpai called. Yes, this is Miyuki. Hey, Miyuki? What are you doing now? I was eating. I need to calm down. Can you talk to me for a bit? Normally, I'd accept his invitation without hesitation, but after what I saw today and those photos. Besides, he should know my mother is in the hospital, yet he seems entirely indifferent. Sorry, I'm not feeling well. I realized now that, in his eyes, I was nothing more than a woman to toy with. Please, just for a little while. Come listen to me. His insistence made me more certain of the truth. Senpai, you only see me as a plaything, don't you? If it were Eiji, he'd notice right away that something was wrong. He'd worry about my tone, ask about my mother, and probably come over to check on me. I'd thrown away such a precious childhood friend. Ooh? What's with you all of a sudden? You're not worried about me. Besides, I saw a photo of you and another woman going into a love hotel together. That? It's an old photo from before we met. She was stalking me. Now I'm in trouble because those pictures are circulating in the club. That's why I wanted to talk to you. I didn't mean to startle you. His apology felt hollow, void of sincerity. I see. Yes, exactly. Please believe me. Dirty. This man was utterly vile. The bracelet I gave you, the one I knitted for you to wear at the game, is visible in that photo. Still calling it old? That's... At that moment, I despised the part of me that was once so naive and feminine. Don't lie to me. My voice was shockingly cold. That must have been photoshopped. I'd liked him so much before, but now even the sound of his voice irritated me to the core. And, at this point, it was like he was admitting it was real. If he's going to lie, at least come up with something better. TCH. He clicked his tongue loudly. His sudden change in demeanor made words escape my lips. I hate it when men heterotypes like you act clingy, act like my girlfriend at the drop of a hat. It's so annoying. His words felt like a blade to my heart. I'd known his true nature, but hearing it firsthand still shocked me. And by the way, what cheating are you even talking about? Were we even dating? No, we weren't. Stop playing the victim and deluding yourself. You're one of the main bullies, aren't you? Considering your history with Aono, you're the worst one here, you B_TCH. The call ended with that vile tirade. Why did I throw everything away for him? I've done something I can never undo. My lonely words echoed through the empty room. Chapter 60 Streamer and Endo and Eiji. Streamer's povey. The day after I called an ambulance for an elderly man, I received a call from a woman claiming to be his family member. Just in case, I reported it to the police, who seemed to be acting as intermediaries. I'm Gourmet Uncle, a foodie streamer, and my channel has a community-based style. Apparently, even police officers watch my videos sometimes. After everything was resolved that day, I ended up chatting with one of them. Oh, thanks for the other day? No, I didn't do much. I was just filming for my hobby when Grandpa suddenly collapsed. While I panicked, a student couple came to help. All I did was call an ambulance. What? The fire department wants to give me an award? No, the student and the nurse deserve it. What? The students left without saying anything. Honestly, I didn't do enough to be called a hero. It would feel like stealing credit from them. Yes, I have a video from that day. It's a bit blurry because I was running in a hurry, but their faces are visible. Still, you can't post minors' faces online, right? The woman on the phone suggested posting it on SNS to find the students, but my conscience said otherwise. Maybe they didn't want attention. Sorry about that. If you want to add a mosaic and post it, you should probably consult the police. Honestly, I thought they deserved recognition for their bravery. All credit goes to their quick actions in that moment. Still, the boy's face looked oddly familiar. Where had I seen him before? I couldn't remember. In any case, I decided to hand over the video to the police. I'd already shared a video of a fight from another day with them. Hopefully, this footage would be useful too. Oh, right. It's September now, and Kitchen Aono's fried oysters are back on the menu. Their tartar sauce is amazing. Maybe I'll grab lunch there today. Endo's Povi. I had a dream. It was an old memory of me and Eiji. We were in kindergarten, laughing and having fun. When I grow up, I'll be Endo's wife, she said. That promise was never fulfilled. Now, seeing my beloved childhood friend, all I felt was hatred. I woke up, haunted by her innocent smile. That was the worst dream I've ever had. The past, which should have been precious, had been stolen from me. All I had left was anger toward the man who took her, toward his accomplices, and even toward Eiji. It was only 5 in the morning. Yesterday was eventful. I declared war on Kondo. But it was a necessary move. Judging by his behavior, he's aggressive on offense but weak on defense. His pride makes him easy to provoke, he loses his temper and acts rashly. That's what makes him so easy to manipulate. I'd already started sowing discord between him and the soccer club. Soon, someone from the team would betray him. But my revenge wouldn't end with Kondo's downfall. I wanted to drag him to hell. That's why I contacted Amada. At the very least, I hoped it would shatter their trust and spark her guilt. Of course, I didn't trust cheating women. If I can isolate Kondo from the soccer club and Amada Miyuki, it'll create contradictions in the school's investigation and silence them. Yesterday's declaration of war was a big risk, but the potential payoff was worth it. Kondo, humiliated by the soccer team, would likely seek solace in his women. He might call Amada, who had seen the photo, leading to a fight between them. If that happened, it would be to my advantage. Perhaps he'd even contact Eiji, fueling Amada's hatred further. Eventually, Eiji and Amada might confront each other, leaving Kondo with nowhere to turn. He'd be abandoned by the soccer club, rejected by the women, and forced to rely on someone. Someone else orchestrating this chaos. Takayaniji's Povi. Sitting in my room, I made notes in my notebook, deep in thought. Even on my day off, Aono's case occupied my mind. To restore his honor, the truth needed to come out soon. I'd gathered evidence, but I needed something conclusive. Something about this case doesn't sit right. Specifically, Kondo. He was known for his flings and his interest in women who were already taken. But in today's world of free love, he couldn't be punished unless he was married. That's why the school was struggling to take action. But why had he specifically targeted Aono for direct bullying? Kondo, the coward, had never crossed that line before. It didn't add up. As wild as it sounded, I began to form a hypothesis. Could there be someone behind the scenes, pushing Kondo into this? Damn, I can't think clearly. Maybe it was hunger making me irritable. I decided to eat out. I remembered a ramen shop introduced by Uncle Gourmet near the train station. A change of pace might help. I opened Uncle Gourmet's channel to find the video with the shop's name. Hello, today I'm live streaming again. While walking around the city and shooting for my next project, I was surprised to witness a grandpa suddenly collapse in front of me. I was unsure of what to do, but a student couple nearby quickly began life-saving measures. It was incredible to witness. All I could do was call for an ambulance to help. Their quick thinking and actions were truly remarkable, weren't they? Recently, I've noticed that many unexpected events occur while I walk around town. Last week, during a collaborative video shoot, I encountered a fight. It seemed related to a romantic relationship, and a boy was being beaten up. I tried to approach him, but he ran away. Someone called the police, but none of the other parties involved were there by the time they arrived. Chapter 61 SC_bags frustration. Kondo's Povi. Why is everyone so selfish? They trust others more than they trust me. Unforgivable. Various objects lie scattered across the room after my furious rampage. Even my treasured junior high trophy is shattered. Damn, damn, damn. You bastards. Ha ha. Shit, I wish all those idiots on the university soccer team, the club members, and Miyuki would just die. I need to vent this anger. Who should I call? With Miyuki out of the picture, the options are A, the literature club manager, or my juniors. No, not the manager. She's untouchable for now. If I show her any weakness, who knows what she'll do? Should I call Ei? No, that woman's a hassle too. I'd rather keep my distance from her for now. Guess I'll just relieve my stress by spreading bad rumors about Aono using my secret account. It's such a thrill for the king to toy with his subjects. Aono's like a slave, weak and incapable of protecting his woman. With that in mind, I open SNS. Until recently, it had been filled with posts badmouthing Aono. But, breaking news, Aono Eiji and Ikijo Ari spotted dating yesterday. Details, please. I was shopping near the station yesterday and saw them leaving a fancy cafe together. I also saw them heading to a movie. They're definitely dating. If Ikijo-san is so strict with guys, why is she dating Aono, who has such a bad reputation? A classmate of Ikijo-san told me she seems to like him a lot. They're apparently getting close. If Ikijo-san likes him so much, there must be more to Aono than we thought. Are the rumors about Aono even true? All we have is one suspicious photo. What if the rumors are false? I thought it was strange from the beginning. Aono-kun and I were in the same class last year, and he's genuinely nice, not the type to hurt anyone. I don't know anymore. Before I realized it, the tide had turned. Why? Is Ikijo Ari's credibility really that strong? She's just a first year. I used reports from the soccer team to fuel the rumors, but her influence outweighs our numbers. No, it's not over. Not yet. Listen up, everyone. Don't be fooled. This Ikijo Ari might be a dangerous woman. Using my anonymous account, I inject myself into the SNS discussions. Wow, you're pathetic lol. Probably some loser who got dumped by Ikijo-san and is salty about it. Ignore him. If we dig into the sources of these rumors, we might uncover something shady. Damn it. They kicked me out. Shit. Why doesn't anyone trust me? I'm the king of this school. Frustrated, I hurl my phone at the window. The glass shatters, and the phone crashes to the floor. Damn it, I rush outside to retrieve it. The phone is so damaged it won't even turn on. Now I can't contact anyone. Where am I supposed to channel all this anger? Everyone's such a damn annoyance. They're making this genius miserable. Damn it all. I'm so pissed. I feel the isolation closing in, which only fuels my frustration. Fire station. We received a video from the police of the student couple everyone's been talking about. I nod as my subordinate reports. Good work. Thank you. Students these days are amazing. They handled the situation so well. We adults could learn from them. That's true, Chief. I heard they left without even giving their names. They were like angels. Makes me feel insecure. Back in my school days, I was just a lazy kid who did club activities to pass the time, ate ramen with friends, and barely studied. I laugh at my subordinate's self-deprecating comment. I get where he's coming from. It's humbling. What's even more surprising is that the person who collapsed was Yamada-san, a retired prefectural counselor. He was such a respected figure that even council members hesitated to speak against him. Thanks to this, we've been tasked with finding the students for sure. I want to succeed. It could set a great example. Wow, such an influential person. Yes, and those students are truly exceptional. Alright, let's edit the video to blur their faces and use SNS to gather information. Hopefully, we'll find something. My subordinate is skilled with computers, so this task is in good hands. I wonder how much traction the post will gain. Hopefully, we'll know something soon. Little did I know at the time that the SNS post would go viral within hours, garnering hundreds of thousands of responses. Chapter 62 Domino Effect and Backlash and Destruction. Local TV station. This is bad news. The ramen event we were supposed to cover live has been abruptly cancelled. The organizers decided it was too dangerous because of the high winds. What? What are we going to do? We've only got 5 minutes left. Is there any news that can take its place? You don't have one? What are we going to do? Hey, try digging deeper into other news material. Oh, director, how about this one? It's a video of students helping an old man that was just posted on a firefighting SNS. It's getting an incredible number of views. Let me share it with you. Apparently, some students helped an old man who collapsed but left without giving their names. The fire department wants to give them an award and is looking for them. We don't have much time. Fortunately, there's a video. We'll use it. Get their permission right away. If we show it on TV, which has the power to spread the news, they'll approve it immediately. Everything happened so fast. Police station rest room. The video that Senpai just gave to the fire department was uploaded immediately. They worked quickly. Yes, it seems the former chairman of the prefectural assembly is involved. Oh, that's why they're moving so fast. Hey, what's going on, Minowa? No, it's the guy from the video Senpai showed me earlier. I thought I saw him somewhere else. Do you know who he is? No, I don't know his name. But, Senpai, about a week ago, there was an incident downtown where a young boy got beaten up in a fight. Ah, those people who left the scene immediately. If I remember correctly, the only footage of them is in Uncle Gourmet's video. Yes. To be honest, there was no damage report, so it stayed that way. Isn't that similar? I understand. I don't really remember. But we'll check it again after the break. Maybe we can get the fire department to owe us something. Ueda's Po v. Damn, even though it was Sunday, the coach was furious about yesterday's results, so we ended up practicing. Of course, the embarrassment from yesterday was still there, and Kondo-senpai was absent. To be honest, I'm lazy when it comes to practicing. I was completely out of shape. Maybe the next competition is just a dream. We all share the same resigned attitude. Let's go home. Then, as I was changing my shoes, hey, Mitsuda. What is this? Explain it to me. I heard the captain's angry voice. We juniors ran in the direction of the voice, startled by the unusual sound. Mitsuda-senpai's showbox was open, and a large number of photographs were scattered on the floor. The bizarre sight left us all speechless. So it's you. I knew it. Kondo bothered you a lot, so you have a grudge against him. You ruined our lives. You laughed at us behind our backs, the captain shouted in a hysterical voice. No, no. I don't know. Someone put it in my showbox. I'm not guilty. I've been framed. Hearing those words reminded me of Aono. We were being used by Kondo-senpai for his benefit. Especially since Mitsuda-senpai is actively spreading rumors. This must be our punishment. I can't trust you. I can't trust anyone anymore. The captain pushed Mitsuda-senpai into the showbox and left. The atmosphere felt suffocating for the rest of us. This is not the kind of soccer I wanted to play. Mahira, a first year, said something like that. We looked at Mahira with shocked expressions. Since the first years were hardly involved in this incident, they looked at us senpais coldly, as if we were filth. Damn it. It's not my fault. It's Kondo-senpai's fault. Mahira and the other first years left without saying a word. All that was left were photos and a few distraught third years. Chapter 63 Kondo Eiji and the Fateful Encounters at Kitchen Aono. Kondo Eiji's Po v. I ended up at Kitchen Aono. I had planned to enjoy a simple bowl of ramen, but earlier, I saw a picture of a fried oyster set on Uncle Gourmet's SNS that looked delicious, and I couldn't resist. To be honest, as a teacher, visiting a student's home feels somewhat questionable. Nevertheless, I opened the door. Oh, Kondo Eiji-sensei. How can I help you today? Aono's mother greeted me with a warm smile. I was on good terms with her and had built a solid relationship of trust. When I emailed her about Aono's special classes being held this coming Saturday, she replied, "Thank you for your hard work. Please come and eat my food if you have time." So, I decided to take her up on her kind offer. Apparently, Aono's father passed away when he was young, and his mother and brother now run the restaurant. Only as an adult could I truly appreciate their determination and resilience. Strengthening the relationship between the school and the family is essential in Aono's case, so we're actively sharing information. I'm a customer today. I'd like to order a seasonal fried oyster set, please. Oh, sure. To make it even better, I'll give you an extra serving of cabbage. I laughed at her cheerful response. She always reads our reports thoroughly and emails us questions about them. We always answer as thoroughly as possible. As a result, the family seems to trust the school more. I've noticed a much softer tone in her phone calls. Sensei, please take care of Eiji. His older brother came out of the kitchen and handed me a bowl of minestrone. He seemed deeply devoted to his younger brother, working hard from a young age without indulging in the typical youthful distractions. Recently, Aono and I have started having casual conversations again, like we used to. Seeing this, I can sense just how much Aono appreciates his mother and brother. His brother's gaze made it clear how deeply he cared for him. Yes, we'll do our best to support him. At school, I've noticed a clear decrease in the number of students who are suspicious of Aono. This is partly due to the high level of trust in Ikijo Ari, with whom he spends a lot of time, but it's also largely a result of his admirable character. Some students from last year and even some of his current classmates still seem hesitant, but it's clear that many have distanced themselves from the bullying and rumors. For example, during discussions with the chemistry teacher about how to handle practical credits, a first-year classmate of Aono's, Endo, approached me, saying, "If that's the case, I can help him with the experiments after school. Aono-kun is an important friend, and I want to do what I can for him." It's heartening that Aono has friends who are willing to help him during tough times. It's all thanks to his kind personality. "Excuse me, may I have a rice refill?" a tall man called out, and Aono's mother responded promptly, "Yes, right away." I glanced at him and recognized him as Uncle Gourmet, a streamer I frequently watch. Ah, so he was still here. I'd seen his photo earlier. I felt an unexpected sense of happiness at the coincidence, and I was grateful for the serendipity. In one of his videos, which I watched to choose a restaurant, he mentioned something that had been bothering me. He talked about a boy who got beaten up over a love affair last week. Fights aren't uncommon, so the chances are slim. But I thought it wouldn't hurt to investigate. Even the slightest possibility is worth pursuing if it could resolve this issue. If it could end Aono's troubles sooner. I decided to take a gamble on that possibility. I found myself standing up and approaching him. "Excuse me, but could I ask you something?" I reached out toward the door to the truth. Chapter 64 Furious Ikijo Ari. I'll po v. Oju-sama, here is the report you requested. In the living room, I received a document from Kyowa. It seemed the report I had commissioned from the private detective agency was finally ready. I read through a few pages and felt sick to my stomach from the horrifying contents. I hadn't dared to ask Senpai about what had happened. It was clear it would be difficult for him to speak about it, and he didn't even want to confide in his own mother. If I tried to ask him outright, I feared it might deepen the wounds in his heart even further. So, I had asked Kyowa to investigate what had happened to Senpai. At first, I thought it was just a typical love affair. But it turned out to be something far more sinister. Amada Miyuki seemed to have cheated on Aono Eiji, her supposed boyfriend. She had been secretly meeting Kondo, a senior on the soccer club, whose parent is a city councilman and influential manager of a local general contractor. Several others appeared to be involved as well. The exact details of this love triangle are unclear. However, it seems likely that something happened on Aono Eiji's birthday, as rumors of him violently attacking Amada Miyuki started circulating on SNS immediately after. Before that day, there hadn't been any negative posts about him. Most of the SNS accounts spreading these rumors were secret accounts, but some were normal. Based on their profile pictures and other details, it could be concluded that many belonged to soccer club members. Additionally, the simultaneous spread of this information and the reactions from other students the day after his birthday strongly suggest that a group conspired to deliberately ruin Aono Eiji's reputation. The detective simply presented the facts, but one deduction seemed unavoidable. Considering Eiji-senpai's character, it was almost impossible to believe he had been violent toward Amada-san. Furthermore, the actions of the soccer club appeared highly suspicious. The mastermind was most likely Kondo from the soccer club. If I recall correctly, he was the strange senior who had tried to hit on me during the first semester. Kondo and Amada-san's affair was likely exposed on Aono's birthday. To protect themselves, they spread rumors accusing Eiji-senpai of abusing her, isolating him socially. If this hypothesis is true, how despicable can they be? I remember someone saying that they had been dating since last winter. But, on his first birthday as her boyfriend, he not only endured the cruel discovery of his girlfriend's betrayal but also faced false accusations that could have erased him socially. This is so cruel. I suddenly understood why he had come to the rooftop the first day we met. Ooh. My blood boiled with anger toward those who had driven such a kind man to despair. No matter what, trampling on someone's kindness is inexcusable. True, when you're not married, there's less obligation to another person. But someone as kind as Senpai doesn't deserve to be treated this way. It is unforgivable. You are unforgivable. How could they push someone to the point of considering suicide? The report's contents were so shocking that I felt physically ill. Yet even amidst all this horror, my admiration and love for Senpai only deepened. Aono Eiji Senpai, you kind to the very end. Huh? I need some fresh air. I stopped Kyowa, who looked concerned, and went to a nearby park alone. I had refused his offer to accompany me, though I knew he would probably follow me discreetly. After a short walk surrounded by greenery, I managed to calm down. Senpai has already lost so much. If there's anything I can do to make up for it, even a little, if I could, I'd want to restore everything he's lost. But that thought felt arrogant and presumptuous. As for Amada Miyuki and Kondo from the soccer club, I cannot forgive them. As I walked, lost in these thoughts, something unexpected happened. A pale, beautiful woman stumbled unsteadily in front of me. I recognized her face. While I didn't know her personally, she was famous as a stunning senpai, and she was the woman mentioned in the report. Ikijo Ari. She seemed to recognize me too. Her face was as pale as a ghost. Amada Miyuki. For the first time, we came face to face. Chapter 65 Ari vs Miyuki. Ari's Po v. This unexpected encounter leaves me speechless. Let's not think about how she knows my name for now. Given her bold approach, it's easy to imagine that the rumors about me and Senpai have already reached the ears of his ex-girlfriend, Amada Miyuki. Nice to meet you. I'm Ikijo Ari, I said coldly. I really didn't want to have a conversation with her. Aren't you with Eiji today? She didn't even return my greeting and instead asked with a trembling voice. You say that like you see us together all the time. You were indeed senpai at school, but this is the first time I'm talking to you, Amada-san. Since your question goes into rather personal details, I don't feel obligated to answer, do I? I ended up speaking rather harshly. I don't care if she hates me, because I'm Eiji's girlfriend. I can't believe my ears. How can she still think she's going out with him after treating him so badly? This lunatic. Really? But Amada-san, didn't you choose Kondo-senpai from the soccer team? You ditched your childhood friend boyfriend, Aono Eiji, who had supported you all along. Worst of all, on his birthday, I dared to speak as if I knew everything. This was to confirm that the information I had was correct. That's, as I thought, she was at a loss for an answer. I guess I was right. I think your relationship is over at this point, right? And you cheated on him, which is the worst way to end a relationship. That's because I knew it. She wouldn't answer my questions. If you can't answer, that means it's true, right? She stood on the verge of tears, her eyes downcast. I already knew about her affair, how she betrayed her beloved lover, and how she made false accusations to save her own skin. Here, I could have scolded and condemned her, but it would have been pointless for an outsider like me to push her further into a corner. Instead, I decided to calmly tell her where I stood. I gave her a cold stare as she fumbled to defend herself. We've been together for over a decade. You were the one who betrayed him. All the trust built over those 10 years was destroyed by your actions. What's worse, you did it in a terribly cruel way. Love is a free feeling, but if you developed feelings for someone else, you should have broken up with Eiji-senpai properly. At the very least, that's what you should have done. However, you didn't. On top of that, you did something as disgusting as cheating on him and dumping him on his birthday. Why? Why would you make such a good-hearted person suffer? My words became harsh. I spoke faster than ever. Breaking up with Eiji was not my intention. We had been together for so long, and he was my first love. But I made a mistake with Senpai, and we ended up in an unfaithful relationship. Initially, I thought it would be brief, and I'd go back to Eiji. And yet. That day, I met him by chance. In a place where we weren't supposed to meet. Somehow, he was there. She spoke like a broken machine, her self-pity overflowing as if she were a tragic heroine. But you're the perpetrator. You speak as if you're the one suffering, but it's Eiji-senpai who has suffered the most. In my opinion, it sounds like you're just being selfish. She collapsed onto the hard asphalt. And why did you spread those false rumors? Because of that, I twisted my mouth in a panic, almost letting the truth slip out. I knew it wasn't something I should reveal. I was afraid. I was afraid of being left all alone. Eiji and I can't go back to how we were. That's why I clung to Senpai. I'm sorry. She repeated her apologies, claiming she had no choice but to cling to him. I couldn't help but feel angry at her words. Just for that reason, I asked sharply, "Hey, that attitude wasn't what I was looking for. You were willing to ruin the life of that gentleman, Aono Eiji, just for that." She let out a short scream, startled by my sharp tone. I wanted to slap her, but a strong reason stopped me. If I did, I would be no different from this selfish woman. She wasn't a human being, just a wretched beast driven by selfish lust. Eiji-senpai, that day after summer vacation. He almost died. That kind-hearted man was pushed so far by you that he considered ending his life. What did he do wrong? He just wanted to spend his birthday happily with his girlfriend. But you? You trampled on someone else's goodwill, spread lies, and pushed him to the brink of side. I will never forgive such a despicable act. I will never forgive any of you. Stay away from him from now on. Excuse me, Eiji, commit side. Amada-san's complexion turned deathly pale, her emotions seemingly drained away. But there was nothing more to say. I walked away, ignoring her crumbling form. Chapter 66 Aries Regret. Aries Po V. I buy food at the convenience store and return to my usual, empty home. I'm home. I can't break out of my old habits. Even when I say hello, no one responds. I realize I'm now the opposite of happy. Let's make udon. If you cook and eat the right amount of vegetables and meat, you won't die. I've been doing this since I started living alone in high school. For the past 3 years, I've never had the pleasure of eating. As long as I had the minimum sustenance, I didn't care. Aside from seeing Kondo-kun, I did only the bare minimum to get through life. Except for the time I spent with him, I was nothing more than a zombie. I lost everything. I was an honor student until junior high school. I had many friends, and I dated my childhood friend, Endo Kazuki. He was smart and someone I was always proud of. He and I were always a good couple, and I thought we were destined to be together forever. But I was the one who ruined that promised happiness. Kondo-kun and I ended up in the same class during our 3rd year of junior high school. He was the ace of the soccer team, excelled in his studies, and was always at the center of attention. I told myself I would always love my childhood friend and only see Kondo-kun as a good friend. But when we shared a class, we naturally grew closer. He was good at studying and patiently helped me with math problems I struggled with. Those small moments brought us closer. Unlike the clumsy Kazuki, Kondo-kun was open-minded and easy to talk to. I couldn't believe we were the same age. I let my guard down, and before I knew it, I had given him everything, and landed myself in this hell. But now I know better. It's all my fault. I tried to avoid acknowledging it, but the worst person in this story is me. My parents have nearly disowned me. They pay for my tuition and living expenses through high school, but they've made it clear that beyond that, I'm on my own. My childhood friend said, "How could you do such a terrible thing? If you loved Endo-kun, you wouldn't have done something so cruel." They isolated me. I think their reaction is natural. But without my parents' support, it's hard to even consider going to college or vocational school. The dream I had of becoming a teacher is slipping away because of this affair. I heard that Kazuki was so devastated he couldn't even take his high school entrance exam. Now, he's repeating a grade. I was relieved when he enrolled in the same high school as me. I knew I shouldn't have felt that way after what I did, but I foolishly clung to the hope that maybe he could save me from this hell. But I quickly realized it was just a dream. Whenever I passed him in the hallway, he would only look at me coldly, like I was nothing but filth. I can no longer see his kind smile, the one that used to be just for me. In the end, I realized that Kondo-kun was the only one left for me. The symbol of my happiness is now so far away, beyond my reach. But Kondo-kun treated me like a toy. We dated briefly in junior high, but he dumped me almost immediately. It was a love I had risked everything for, so I couldn't give it up. I had sacrificed my family, my boyfriend, my friends, my dreams, my future, everything, for that love. I had dedicated my entire youth to Kondo-kun, and all that remains is this hell. I'm well aware that he has other women. In fact, I've seen it with my own eyes several times. But I've always believed he would come back to me, to the woman who gave him everything. But, a few minutes ago, an envelope arrived in my mailbox that shattered that fragile dream. It was a photo of him leaving a hotel with another woman, looking genuinely happy. If it had been just that, I might have endured it. But around his neck was the matching necklace I had bought for him in junior high. It felt like he was deliberately stomping on my feelings. I realized then that my youth had meant nothing to him, it was merely his possession. I cannot forgive him. And I cannot forgive myself. I can't forgive myself for betraying the people I cared about. Let's die. The thread stretched to its limit has finally snapped. Because beyond this point, there's no hope left. But I cannot be the only one to go to hell. The person who created this hell must come with me. At least one last time, I can be myself. Chapter 67 Fate and Coincidence. Aries Po V. I left Amada-san as if I were running away. I walked away with a crushing sense of self-loathing for having crossed a line I shouldn't have. I had told her about the side attempt, something I shouldn't have revealed. I thought Senpai wanted to keep it a secret. My emotions had spiraled out of control, and I couldn't stop them. Because the person who saved my life was driven to such despair. Senpai, who was always so kind, was pushed to the brink of death by someone else's malice, yet she acted like she was the victim. That's unforgivable. I'm not saintly enough to let such a kind person be twisted by someone else's malice. Self-loathing and anger, such negative emotions engulfed me. But strangely, I had no regrets. Considering how kind Eiji-senpai is, maybe he would forgive her if she apologized. I knew I had spoken to Amada-san on his behalf. Even if she hated me for it, at least I had stood up in his place. Maybe, in this small way, I could return the favor. If we hadn't met on that rooftop, Eiji-senpai would have died there. Someone like him shouldn't have ended his life in a cold, lonely place without anyone knowing. He deserved a full life, a life with love, a family, and happiness. He's on a completely different level from someone like me, who survives by leaning on others. He deserves happiness. A person like Aono Eiji is someone worthy of joy. You're the only one who should be happy. Sorry. I should have said it better. Forgive me for being a bad mother who can only say this at the very end. I'll always love you. Don't worry, you'll meet someone who will love you. Your mother will always be with you. If I had one regret, it's that I won't get to see you as a bride. My mother's last words replay in my mind, words I've tried to bury for so long. They echo again and again. Thank you, Mother. I was about to give up, but now I finally understand the meaning behind your words. I'm sorry for trying to run away. I'm sorry for seeking the easy way out. But finally, I found someone I love. I found someone who cares about me more than I care about myself. I want to meet Eiji-senpai. I'm fully aware of my love for him. High school romances are often fleeting, but I want to believe that my feelings for him are eternal. I start running back to my apartment as fast as I can. But even here, the god of fate smiles upon me. In the distance, I see a man waving at me. It's Aono Eiji. I, who have finally learned to love, can't help but believe that this fleeting moment is fate. Senpai, I almost hug him out of pure emotion. It's just a coincidence, but I had wished so deeply to see him again that it feels like destiny. Ikijo-san, what a coincidence. I was just about to get ramen for dinner. Would you like to join me? He laughs softly. I realize he remembers how, during our date yesterday, I mentioned I'd never been to a ramen shop but was curious. My mouth speaks before my mind catches up. Is that okay? I'd love to go. More than anything, I'm overjoyed by Senpai's kindness. Ages Po V. I was on my way to the convenience store to copy the class notes Satoshi had lent me. On the way, I ran into Ikijo-san, and we ended up having ramen together. Since she's an Ojusama, she rarely gets the chance to visit ramen shops. She ate the recommended menu with such enthusiasm. That alone made me happy. Afterward, I walked her back to her apartment and then headed home. I'm glad she was happy. As I walked along, murmuring those carefree thoughts, I noticed a familiar face up ahead. There was no way I could mistake her for someone else. My heart started to race, an unsettling, uncomfortable feeling. It was a woman I didn't want to see again. Eiji, my former childhood friend and lover, Amada Miyuki, called out to me, her face pale and lifeless like a zombie. The ex-girlfriend I never wanted to see again stood there in front of me. Chapter 68 Childhood Friend. Miyuki's Po V. Eiji wanted to kill himself? When I heard this shocking truth, memories of my actions came rushing back. That I had been having an affair with Kondo-senpai behind Eiji's back. That I had cancelled Eiji's birthday plans to go on a date with senpai. When everything came to light, I lied to Eiji out of fear and self-preservation. As a result, Eiji was bullied, isolated, and eventually driven to contemplate suicide. No. I'm not the worst woman. I'm not. I finally understood, or rather, I always knew, but I was too afraid to admit it. When the affair was exposed, I was terrified of losing the honor student image and the friendships I had carefully built. But I was a fool back then. Because of that selfish act of self-preservation, I lost the most precious thing I should have protected. Without realizing it, I found myself in our usual park. The neighborhood park where Eiji and I used to play together. We spent countless hours here, talking and laughing on the swings. I sat on one of the swings and let myself be consumed by memories. When I grow up, I'm going to be Eiji's wife. A childish promise I made when I was in first grade. Don't worry, I'll be with you forever. I said those words to comfort him when his father passed away. You finally confessed to me. Yes, I've always loved you too. Those irreplaceable moments kept replaying in my mind. The 10 years I spent with Eiji were the most important years of my life. Why was I so selfish? Eiji had always been there for me. Instead of returning his kindness, I betrayed him. My gaze fell on a notice board nearby. Notice of playground equipment removal. Due to renovation, equipment will be replaced during the following period. The swings and slides we used to play on together, symbols of our memories, were going to disappear. The realization made tears fall uncontrollably. I love him, I love him, I love him. I lost everything because of me. My heart ached with the weight of this cruel reality. I betrayed kind-hearted Eiji. I deserve hell. I don't deserve happiness. Even Kondo-senpai, the one I chose, will leave me. Even my mother will abandon me. I was truly an idiot. I can never go back to that warm and happy place. Dizzy and tearful, I left the park of our memories. I had no choice but to return to the emptiness waiting for me at home. But amidst the crowd, I noticed a familiar shadow. The one person I had always wanted to meet. Eiji. I couldn't stop myself from calling out to him, even though I had no right to. Eiji turned around, surprise flashing across his face as he looked at me. Miyuki. His expression was filled with confusion and a hint of fear. That gentle smile I used to know was nowhere to be seen. I knew, it was already too late. Eiji is a lousy, violent boyfriend. He was just my childhood friend, and yet persistent and stalker-like. The cruel words I had said came crashing back into my mind. What? Did you come here to laugh at me? Miyuki. You told me never to talk to you again. His voice was cold, so different from the Eiji I once knew. I realized just how deeply I had hurt him. No. It's not like that. I want to go back to how things were, even if it's just a little bit. The fragile bond we once shared as childhood friends had completely shattered. His wary voice pierced my heart. What are you saying? His voice was sharp and clear, and I looked down, my heart breaking from his cold words. I'm sorry. I know I did something unforgivable. That's all I wanted to say. Eiji sighed, his expression unchanging, his eyes distant. Eiji's POV. I realized how cold I was being to her sudden apology. I realized that the childhood friend who once occupied such a big part of my heart was now just a distant stranger. I think I'm going to get angry. Is it true that the opposite of love is indifference? What do you mean, Eiji? I'll do anything if it means you'll forgive me. Maybe this was Miyuki's way of apologizing, but it felt wrong. This wasn't what I wanted. It wasn't about forgiveness. It was something else entirely, something I couldn't quite name. It's not that. I don't want you to tarnish our memories anymore. I think it's better if we never see each other again. Yes, that would be better for both of us. I don't want to hate you, Miyuki. Hearing those words, Miyuki froze in place. Feeling a pang of guilt, I added softly, I'm in love with someone else. With those words, I turned and walked away, leaving her behind. No. I don't want this. Eiji, but I had no reason to turn back. I kept walking forward. Chapter 69 Disappointment and Hope. Is POV. For the first time in my life, I ate ramen at a ramen shop. Of course, it wasn't as if I had never tasted ramen before. After leaving my father and starting to live on my own, I tried instant foods out of curiosity. Instant noodles and cup ramen were delicious at first. But I soon grew tired of them and returned to the balanced diet I had been raised on. I had always enjoyed cooking, and I cherished the time the nanny spent teaching me how to prepare delicious meals. Still, I had always wanted to experience eating at an actual ramen shop. But for a girl, going alone felt like crossing a significant hurdle. That's why I was so happy when Senpai remembered something I had casually mentioned. On weekends, when the nanny had her days off, it was nice not to eat alone. He remembered what I said and invited me out for dinner. What girl wouldn't feel happy to be treated so kindly by someone she loves? We really only had dinner and parted ways, but those moments were so precious to me. Just that was enough to chase away the usual Sunday evening gloom. I ran out of tea. I realized I was out of the tea I always drank while studying. Without it, my focus would suffer, so I decided to go buy some at the nearest convenience store. On my way there, I spotted Senpai walking ahead. Maybe if I asked him, he'd keep me company. It might be annoying for him, but I felt brave enough to try. Senpai? Just as I was about to call out to him, I noticed another figure. It was Amada Miyuki. Why? Was this an ambush? Or had she been following him? My excitement vanished instantly. This shouldn't be happening. Eiji-senpai had only just started to smile again after everything he had been through. He had been betrayed by his childhood friend of 10 years. Even though he pretended not to care, the wounds in his heart were still fresh. And it was clear from our earlier conversations that Amada-san still had lingering feelings for senpai. There was a real possibility she might exploit his kindness to try and reconcile. I realized why I was growing anxious. It was because I was scared. Scared of the possibility that Aono Eiji might not choose me. After all, we weren't in an exclusive relationship. That fear made me hide in the shadows. I knew it was wrong, but I couldn't stop myself from eavesdropping on their conversation. No. It's not like that. I want to go back to the way it was, even if it's just a little bit. What are you saying? I'm sorry. I know I did a terrible thing. That's all I wanted to say. The first words I overheard were Amada-san's desperate attempts at justification. My chest tightened with frustration. How could she say such things so shamelessly? She wasn't in a position to demand anything from him. Senpai froze for a moment, then spoke with an expressionless face. I think I'm going to get angry. Huh? Is it true that the opposite of love is indifference? What do you mean, Eiji? I'll do anything if Eiji will forgive me. The opposite of love is indifference. Those words were merciless, carrying an undeniable finality. In contrast, Amada-san's panicked response only highlighted her regret. Senpai, who was always so gentle, now looked deeply disappointed. His words carried a cold edge, a sharpness that made my heart ache on his behalf. It's not that. I don't want you to tarnish the memories anymore. I think it would be better for both of us if we never saw each other again. Yes, that would be better for both of us. I don't want to hate Miyuki anymore. Even after all the pain she caused him, he still spoke with kindness. He didn't want to deny the memories they shared. If it were me, I don't think I could have been so gracious. I would have felt nothing but anger and resentment. But Senpai was different. He truly was a kind person, and yet, even he was capable of rejecting her outright. That was how deeply she had hurt him. I'm in love with someone else. My heart skipped a beat. Was I being overly self-conscious? Maybe. But I couldn't help but hope. You mean Ikijo-san? Amada-san repeated, I don't want to, over and over before suddenly mentioning my name. My breath caught in my throat. Eiji-senpai didn't turn around as he answered. I don't think I should tell Miyuki about it first. That's why I can't answer. With those final words, he walked away, leaving Amada-san sobbing behind. Chapter 70 Coincidence? And flirting. I broke up with Miyuki and moved on. My heart didn't hurt as much as I expected. Of course, the pain wasn't completely absent, but it was far less than I had imagined. After all, we had known each other for more than 10 years. There were countless memories. But now, they were simply memories, part of the past. I realized that through this incident, I had gained far more than I had lost. An angelic junior who stood by me, even at her own expense. A best friend who showed me unwavering honesty. My mother and brother who love me unconditionally. My uncle, who carries on my father's legacy. And my teachers, who, despite their busy schedules, took time to support me and ensure I wasn't left behind. Even though I lost Miyuki, someone so important to me, I still had so many invaluable people in my life. I have to be happy for the sake of those who supported me. With that resolve in my heart, I began walking home when I suddenly heard my name being called from behind. Senpai. I turned around to see Ikijo-san standing there, smiling brightly. Ikijo-san? What happened? It felt like a dream. The person I most wanted to see was right there. I actually forgot to buy tea. I went to the convenience store nearby, and then I saw you, so I called out. Her face was slightly flushed, her expression shy yet endearing. I see. But it's late, and it's not safe to walk alone. I'll go with you. Thanks. You don't mind walking twice? Not at all. I feel like spending a little more time with you tonight. I realized too late that I had spoken my true feelings out loud. She laughed softly, her smile more radiant than usual. Thank you. You're really sweet, senpai. Well, you're a girl, and besides, no, never mind. Ikijo-san is undeniably beautiful. Anyone would think so. But saying something so obvious out loud felt embarrassing. Are you worried about me? Thank you. Then I'll be a little selfish today. Her playful smile was like that of a child, yet it carried an undeniable charm. I'm kinda glad. About what? It's just, it feels nice to be spoiled by you. Even at school, despite your reputation as a heartbreaker, you've always treated me warmly. Seeing this side of her felt like a rare treasure. Well, you're special, senpai. You deserve it. I couldn't help but smile in response to her playful words. Then I'm glad. You've made me feel special, and you trust me enough to let me see this side of you. When I teased her back, her cheeks turned a deeper shade of red as she took a deep breath to steady herself. How adorable. The way you say those things, that honesty of yours. Senpai no baka. Her gentle teasing warmed my heart in a way I couldn't describe. All right then, let's go. Yes, thank you. I'm counting on you. Together, we began walking, as if bidding farewell to the past. R is Po V. We began walking side by side. Both of us understood, deep down, that this walk symbolized something more, a quiet farewell to lingering shadows of the past. I had already received unintentional, heartfelt confessions from him. His eyes met mine, and he spoke with sincerity. The men who had confessed to me in the past never spoke about me. They used borrowed words, praising my appearance, my popularity, but never seeing me for who I was. Because of that, I thought I would always be alone. I never imagined someone would see me as I am, walk alongside me, and share such honest moments with me. Just like before, he noticed my naivety and quietly filled in the gaps with his kindness. I shouldn't have been able to stand beside someone so kind. But through a series of coincidences, I want to make him as happy as he makes me. I want him to be happy that he chose me. Chapter 71 Kondo Eiji grabs the evidence. Kondo Eiji's Po V. I always watch your videos. Keep up the good work, I said to Uncle Gourmet. It seemed he had already finished shooting his video for the day, as he responded with a warm smile. Oh, really? I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you. Sorry if this sounds a bit abrupt, but in your last video, you mentioned witnessing a fight between some teenagers. He looked slightly puzzled but nodded. Yes, I did mention that. There was no need to hide anything here. Even Aono's mother, standing beside me, wore a surprised expression. I'm Kondo Eiji, a high school teacher. A student in my class was attacked around that same time. I want to involve the police, but without evidence, I can't even start an investigation. Could you show me the video from that incident? Just to confirm if the boy being beaten was my student. To be honest, I wasn't sure if he would agree. Public scrutiny towards streamers has become intense in recent years, with concerns over privacy and compliance. Uncle Gourmet, in particular, follows a strict policy, getting filming permission in advance and avoiding busy hours to minimize disturbance. But if there was even a shred of possibility, I would go to any lengths to see this through. Especially if it was for the sake of my students. What should I do? I quickly offered my business card. I know this isn't objective proof, but here's my business card. If needed, I can also show you my driver's license. Additionally, this restaurant is owned by the parents of one of my students. Uncle Gourmet glanced towards the kitchen, and the owners, Aono's mother, nodded firmly. If you insist. I still have the video data. Please wait a moment. I let out a small sigh of relief, though my shoulders remained tense. Here it is. The sounds of a bustling city filled the air as the video began playing. A sharp scream rang out. Kia! Someone shouted, there's a fight happening. The camera swung towards the commotion. It wasn't a fight, it was one-sided violence. An enraged boy was striking another with unchecked aggression. The boy on the receiving end was thrown to the ground. Though the audio was faint, the attacker's voice carried an unmistakable tone of anger. Beside the aggressor, a young woman stood calmly. She didn't intervene, nor did she attempt to stop him. She spoke a few quiet words before walking away with the attacker. The camera focused briefly on the injured boy. Hey, are you okay? You shouldn't force yourself to walk. Maybe you should lie down for a while. Hey, kid. The boy, staggering, managed to get up and walked away from the scene. Uncle Gourmet's voice lingered softly. I hope he's okay. The video cut off there. I swallowed hard. On the screen were unmistakable faces, Aono Eiji, Amada Miyuki, and Kondo Seiji from the soccer team. What do you think? Is this the footage you were looking for? I've already submitted this video to the police. You might be able to get more information by consulting with them. Thank you. I was almost certain it was my student. Could you please share the police station's location so I can follow up? After obtaining the location, I turned to Aono's mother and shared the details of what I had seen. As I suspected, it was Aono. The video clearly shows him being attacked. Her voice grew cold, sharp with restrained anger. Sensei, I might cause trouble for the school, but I will never forgive those who hurt Eiji. I will never forgive them. A typical teacher might have tried to advocate for the offender's future. But our school is different. No, Aono-san, this is your decision to make. The school has no authority here. More importantly, it's our duty as teachers to ensure students understand when they've done something wrong. A student who strays like this could one day do something truly irreversible. It's also our responsibility to guide them and offer a chance for redemption. Thank you. I'm sorry, Oni-chan. I'll go with Eiji-sensei. Please don't tell Eiji just yet. I want to confirm everything first. Without wasting any more time, we headed to the police station where the video data had been submitted. Chapter 72 Endo's Plan. Endo's POV. Evening had fallen, and I found myself sitting on a bench in the park, observing the world as my plan steadily unfolded. Cracks had begun to form within the soccer team. Now, all I needed to do was wait for those fractures to grow naturally. Mitsuda, Kondo's closest ally in the club, would soon find himself isolated as well. Eventually, the news about that photo would reach Kondo. The moment he realized he'd been betrayed by the person he trusted most, he'd spiral into despair. And if his relationship with Amada Miyuki crumbled too, Kondo would be utterly alone. This was my plan, to exact vengeance for the despair both Aono-kun and I had suffered. Compared to Aono-kun, my pain might seem trivial. Betrayed by his childhood friend, falsely accused of sins he never committed, and completely ostracized at school. What Kondo and the mastermind did wasn't just cruel, it was inhuman. And so, I would utterly destroy them. First Kondo, isolating him until he had nowhere left to turn. Then, he would inevitably seek out the mastermind pulling the strings. When that happened, I'd capture them both, and drag them down to hell with me. After that, I'd accept whatever punishment came my way. I'd gladly sacrifice everything to see justice served. Hey, Endo! We've been running into each other a lot lately. The sudden voice snapped me out of my thoughts. I turned to see my friend, Imai, jogging toward me. I was just out for a walk. Are you building stamina with all this running, Imai? He was breathing heavily, dressed in a lightweight jersey. Even though it was September, the evening air still carried lingering heat. Oh, don't push yourself too hard, Endo. If you ever need anything, just let me know. He smiled, but there was something off about it. His voice, it carried an undercurrent of concern. Imai was sharp. Had it been a mistake for us to cross paths on the day I set my plan in motion at the soccer club? No, Imai wasn't the type to betray me. If anything, he'd chosen to turn a blind eye, respecting my decisions. What's with that look? I'm just out for a walk. You worry too much, even if I'm a little messed up. I forced a laugh to cover up the cracks forming in my facade. My chest tightened with guilt. Right. Well, what I'm about to say is probably just me overthinking, so don't pay it any mind. His gentle tone cut through me like a knife. For a moment, the mask I wore as a cold-hearted avenger almost slipped. But I swallowed the lump in my throat and forced myself to nod. I don't know the details of what you're planning, Endo. But I can tell something's going on. And I have a feeling it involves self-sacrifice. Don't tell me that's how you plan to repay Eiji. My chest tightened as if an invisible hand was squeezing my heart. My pulse quickened, and it became hard to breathe. What the hell are you talking about? You're way off base. Maybe. I'm just talking to myself, after all. But, Endo. I want to keep being your friend. I want to see you smile again. I'm sure Eiji feels the same. If you end up hurt, he'll be devastated. I couldn't respond. The way Imai spoke, as if he understood everything, left me completely speechless. The warmth and care in his words, it reminded me of the place I'd longed to return to. A place where I was accepted. Where I belonged. But it was too late to turn back now. I had come too far. I couldn't stop until Kondo and the mastermind were brought down. Thank you, Imai. It was all I could manage to say. Imai grinned and gave me a thumbs up. Yeah. See you later. With that, he jogged off into the distance, disappearing into the evening haze. I had an early morning ahead, and it was time to head home. But just as I turned to leave the park, I noticed a female student in a uniform from another school standing under a dim street lamp. I averted my eyes and tried to walk past her. Wait, you're Endo Kazuki, right? My breath hitched at the familiar voice. It wasn't Eiji. It was another childhood friend, the one who had tried to pull me back onto my feet even after Eiji had betrayed me. It's me, Demoto Yumi. Remember, Chapter 73 at a police station. Takayaniji's Po v. We arrived at the police station located in a neighboring town. After explaining the situation, we asked to review the data again. The officers played the same video I had seen before. It was the first time Aono-san had watched it, and her shock was evident. Oh no, to be beaten in such a one-sided way. Why should my son have to endure this, just because he grabbed the wrist of a girl he was supposed to be dating? I see. He did such a terrible thing to Eiji. Miyuki also betrayed him, and even when he was lying on the ground, no one cared. He was left cold and alone. Why didn't I notice that? The light in Aono-san's eyes dimmed as she muttered those words, clearly trying to suppress her emotions. I could do nothing but silently watch her. No matter how many times I see this video, it's unbearable. The violence was entirely one-sided. There was no evidence of Aono attacking anyone, as Kondo had claimed. So it had all been a lie. I will not forgive the boy who hit my son. He's a student from the same school, right, sensei? Yes, that's right. His name is Kondo, a third-year student. Before coming here, I had already contacted the school principals. We were assured that it was up to Aono-san to decide whether to file an official complaint with the police. They also instructed full cooperation with us. Kondo. Yes, Kondo. She repeated the name, her voice carrying a steely resolve. I will file a complaint. What do I need to do? Aono-san's voice was firm as she began the necessary procedures. The officer explained that, as Aono was a minor, his parents could file on his behalf. As the process continued, 2 more police officers entered the room. Thank you for your hard work. The officer on duty greeted them before asking, are they related to the boy in the video? The officer nodded immediately. Yes. She is the victim's mother, and this is his teacher. The mother has decided to file a formal complaint. I see. One of the senior officers stepped forward and began speaking briskly. My name is Demoto. I apologize for interrupting, but we have another video we'd like you to see. If you wouldn't mind, could you take a look? Please rest assured, it's unrelated to the assault. It's about saving a life. My men believe your son may resemble a boy who helped an elderly man who collapsed in the street yesterday before quietly leaving without giving his name. We'd like you to verify his identity. Yes. Okay. Aono-san let out a sigh of relief. After being subjected to such horrific imagery earlier, I felt relieved for her too. The video played, showing Aono Eiji alongside Ikijo Ari, a first-year student in casual clothes, helping an elderly man who had collapsed on the street. Yes, that's my son. And the girl beside him is a friend of his. Aono-san's voice trembled, and she stopped speaking abruptly. I see. The elderly man received treatment quickly and is recovering well. He wants to personally thank your son. Additionally, the fire department would like to issue him a commendation. The contrast between this video and the earlier one was striking. From hell to heaven, it was almost surreal. Even in such dire circumstances, Aono had chosen to act with kindness. In a situation where even adults might hesitate, he stepped forward without a second thought. It was truly admirable. Eiji. I didn't know, because he never says anything. The senior officer, Demoto, chuckled softly. You have an exceptional son. I have a daughter about the same age, and I know it's not easy. He's a remarkable young man. I can't forgive those who hurt him. Rest assured, we'll handle this case firmly. His words, both kind and resolute, gave us a sense of reassurance. Thank you. Aono-san's voice cracked as she bowed deeply, tears streaming down her face. This world is full of contradictions. How could someone like Aono, someone so kind, so good, be forced to endure such cruelty? Why was he chosen as the target for this torment? But no, looking backward won't change anything. The ones who suffer the most are often those who carry on despite it all. As adults, we must move forward. We must do everything in our power to ease his suffering. And it starts with holding the true perpetrators accountable. That's where the real fight begins. I'm ready for it. Chapter 74 Endo and another childhood friend. Endo's Po v. Yumi. How could I forget? It's been a long time. I heard the voice of a childhood friend I hadn't spoken to in years. Her tone was calm, and I noticed her auburn hair, once long during our junior high days, was now cut short. The last time we saw each other was on graduation day, after I had shut myself away from everyone. Many friends had come to visit me after Ai's betrayal plunged me into despair, causing me to stop going to school. But I didn't want to see anyone. I pushed them all away, and eventually, they stopped coming. Among them, Yumi was the only one who kept visiting me until the very end. I'm glad to hear that. I thought you had forgotten about me since you never contacted me. She smiled faintly, but there was sadness in her eyes. Seeing that smile made my chest ache. I couldn't. I'm not qualified. In the end, I had been afraid of her kindness. After all, Eiji, who was once kind to me, had suddenly turned cruel. Qualified? What qualifications? I still missed you, even when you didn't call. She spoke sulkily, just like she used to. I gave you the worst rejection, Yumi. Even though you were so kind to me, I pushed you away. I can't contact you. I don't deserve to. In the end, I was just a coward, afraid of her kindness, afraid of facing myself. After that incident, I lost all the friends I had made up until junior high. It was a fitting end for someone like me. You're still kind, Kazuki. Kind? Me. The word caught me off guard, and I instinctively asked back. Yes, you are. Honestly, looking back now, I realize I was too insensitive back then. I crossed a line I shouldn't have without considering your feelings. You must have been in so much pain, wanting to be left alone. I regretted it for a long time. You're kind, Kazuki, and that's why you keep blaming yourself. I'm sorry. That day, the day of our junior high graduation, I had been absent from school. Yumi had been the one to deliver my graduation book and diploma. She was the only person I still trusted, so my parents let her into my room. Hey, Kazuki. Just a little bit. During spring break, let's go somewhere? Staying cooped up in your room will only make things worse. She had spoken so gently, trying to care for me in her usual way. But at that time, I had been overwhelmed by sadness and frustration. I couldn't take the high school entrance exams, nor could I attend the graduation ceremony. And I lashed out at her. Shut up. You don't understand how I feel. You have a good life ahead of you or a fun high school experience waiting for you, don't you? Unlike me. Whether it's pity or some sense of justice, it's annoying. Just leave me alone. The memory of those cruel words haunted me. Yumi had brought me handouts and exam application forms every day, hoping I could keep up with my studies. And yet, I had said the worst things to her. Her tears had fallen then, as if something inside her had snapped. I'm sorry. I didn't understand your feelings at all. I was imposing on you, wasn't I? I'm so sorry. Her words cut through me, and a wave of intense remorse washed over me. I had been, and still was, the worst kind of person. Overcome with self-loathing, I couldn't find any words to say. After a moment of silence, she said softly, "Sorry, I'm leaving today." Then, just before she turned to go, she added, "Bye, Kazuki. I've been holding back because of my best friend, Eiji, but I think I liked you, thanks to you, Yumi." I managed to make it to high school. For the first time in years, those words came from my heart. I see. I'm glad I could help. Even if it was just a little. It wasn't just a little. It wasn't nosiness, Yumi. I took my anger out on you back then, and I've regretted it ever since. They say you don't realize how important something is until you lose it. She smiled kindly, just like she always had. Hey, Kazuki. I heard most of the story from Imai-kun. He's really sharp, isn't he? He figured out what was bothering you and reached out to different friends through social media. That's how he ended up finding me. I knew it. Imai. So let me tell you this, honestly, from my heart. Please forgive yourself. There's no reason why Kazuki doesn't deserve to be happy. I know that better than anyone. And you know what? Our old friends from middle school, they're still worried about you. Even though they're busy with exams and job hunting, they listened to Imai-kun and did what they could. They were happy to hear you were back in school and making new friends like him. Her words stirred old memories, of warmth, of comfort, feelings I had buried deep to become someone consumed by anger. But, for me, I couldn't stop thinking about Eri's face as she coldly rejected me. Be happy, Kazuki. Because you're kind. Her hand, warm and gentle, held my cold one. Slowly, her warmth began to seep into me, thawing the frozen parts of my heart. Chapter 75 Mother and Son. When I got home, I immediately opened a web novel site I had registered on. It was a big platform that had caught my attention, but I had only been registered for a few days. I remembered what Ikijo-san told me recently. I wasn't sure if I had any talent, but since I no longer had a place in the literature club, this was the only place I could turn to. For a long time, I had been in shock and unable to write, but thanks to her encouragement, I started to regain my motivation. I copied the manuscript I had written for the literature club and pasted it into the submission form. I filled in the required information and clicked the submit button, the one I had never had the courage to press before. Normally, fear would paralyze me at this point, but I tried to cheer myself up. I was nervous about showing my novel to an unknown audience. It would be a lie to say I wasn't curious about the idea of online novels. But sharing my work on a site where so many people could see it required courage, and I was afraid of taking that risk. I feared getting bad reviews, but today, pressing that button felt surprisingly easy. At least I didn't get insulted like I did at school. I think I'm stronger now. I hit the refresh button. Oh, 10 people have seen it. There were no comments yet, but just knowing that someone had looked at my work made me happy. Then, I heard a knock on my door. Eiji, can I talk to you? It was Mom's voice. Yes, it's open, I answered, and Mom walked into the room, smiling more warmly than usual. Actually, I went to the police station with Eiji-sensei a while ago. What? The police? I was a little surprised, but since she mentioned sensei, I could already guess the reason. Yes, about the incident where you were beaten up. It seems someone had videotaped the scene, and sensei checked it. That's why I went to confirm everything. I'm sorry I didn't notice sooner. It must have hurt a lot, didn't it? Mom hugged me gently. It's okay now. Everyone's here for me. Yes, we are truly blessed with good people. Even your late father is watching over us. I just filed a complaint against a third-year student named Kondo. When I heard those words, conflicting feelings of relief and anxiety swirled inside me. I see. If that video was now with the police, Kondo-senpai wouldn't be able to escape consequences. I was afraid of retaliation, but I reminded myself that I wasn't alone, everyone was with me. Also, Eiji, I heard something amazing. You and Ari-chan saved that grandpa who collapsed yesterday? The police told me. Mom was so surprised. That's really incredible. I'm so proud of you. Her words broke through my emotional walls, and I felt like crying. How did Mom know? The police noticed me. They thought it might be related to the same person who was attacked. The fire department will even give you and Ari-chan a certificate. The person in charge will come to school tomorrow. What happened to the grandpa who collapsed? I couldn't help but ask in a voice that sounded much younger, like a child's. It's okay. They said his life was saved thanks to your quick response. They just want to thank you properly. I see. That's good. That was the only thing I had been worried about. I had searched online and checked SNS a few times but couldn't find any updates. My son is really amazing. I'm sure your dad is proud of you too. Yeah, my chest felt warm, as if I was closer to the greatest father I had always admired. The next day, as the news spread, the atmosphere at school shifted dramatically. For the next week, it was as if the offensive and defensive positions had reversed. It was Kondo who was now being cornered. He must have realized then that his downfall had begun on that very day. Chapter 76 Special School Assembly. Miyuki's Po v. I had a dream. In my dream, Eiji and I were on the school rooftop. I kept calling out to him, but he ignored me, as if he couldn't see me. Slowly, he leaned forward, toward the edge of the rooftop. Stop it, Eiji. I'm sorry. I'll apologize, so please don't do anything reckless. It's not you who should die, it's me. No, I don't want to lose you. Why are you blaming yourself when it's my fault? Don't leave me alone, please. If you leave, I'll be all alone. My desperate cries didn't reach him. With a pale face, he stared at me for a few seconds. Then, in the next moment, he fell through the air. His anguished expression seemed to say, "You are the reason I had to die." There was a dull thud. The ground turned red. I heard something inside me shatter. This is a dream. I woke up in a cold sweat. My body felt heavy as I walked to school. I couldn't bring myself to eat. Eiji could have died. The weight of my sins could have driven him to that point. The fear consumed me. When I arrived at school, I didn't speak to anyone. I sat at my desk, staring blankly, waiting for the first period to begin. How much easier it would be if I just collapsed from anemia. I wanted to disappear. Listen up, everyone. There will be an emergency school assembly. Please gather in the gym. Eiji-sensei's voice felt distant. I moved towards the gym like a lifeless puppet. People around me whispered that I shouldn't push myself so hard. I didn't deserve their kindness. I wished they'd just ignore me. If Eiji had yelled at me, cursed me, or even hit me, it might have felt easier to bear. But instead, he had said, the opposite of love is indifference. He had shown me that cold indifference through his actions. I understood why it had to be this way, but that didn't stop the sharp pain in my chest. At the assembly, I fought back tears several times. I've asked you all to gather here today to discuss two important matters. The principal's expression was stern, his voice serious. Normally, he'd start with a long-winded speech, but today, he was direct. There are two announcements, one bad, one good. Let's start with the bad news. The police have informed us that there is a strong possibility one of our students was involved in an assault in a neighboring town during summer vacation. The investigation is ongoing, and while the police haven't confirmed whether the suspect is indeed from our school, we cannot ignore this. If you have any information, report it to your homeroom teacher by noon. Do not lie. We will find out. Consider this an ultimatum. My stomach tightened painfully. Was it Kondo-senpai? Eiji? Were they finally uncovering everything? My pulse quickened. The air in the gym became thick with tension. Hey, isn't this about Aono Eiji? The rumors on SNS. You mean the one about him being violent with Amada-san? Looks like the police are finally stepping in. No. That's not what happened. It's not Eiji's fault, it's mine. Guilt clawed at me, and just as I felt like I might collapse, the principal brightened his tone and continued. Now, for the good news. On Saturday, 2 days ago, Aono Eiji, a second year, and Ikijo Ari, a first year, performed a heroic act. They saved the life of an elderly man who had collapsed on the street. Thanks to their quick thinking and actions, the man was rushed to the hospital and survived. The fire department will present them with certificates of commendation. As principal, I am immensely proud of their bravery. I hope all of you will look to them as examples and carry that same spirit of kindness. Now, let's give them both a big round of applause. Wait, Aono Eiji helped someone? But what about the violent rumors? If those rumors were true, would the fire department really be giving him a certificate? Exactly. There's no way they'd praise him if he were guilty. Then, someone must be lying. A sharp, icy fear gripped me. My vision blurred from exhaustion and hunger. The sound of applause faded, and the gym ceiling swayed above me. Then everything went black. Chapter 77 The Nature of SC_bag. Kondo's Po v. What a hassle. An emergency school assembly in the morning? What, is there some kind of problem? I don't think so, but did they find out about the hotel incident? No, that can't be. My dad said they'd never find out. It's fine. I'm just overthinking it. While I was trying to calm myself down, the principal began speaking. There are two announcements, one bad, one good. Let's start with the bad news. The police have informed us that there is a strong possibility one of our students was involved in an assault in a neighboring town during summer vacation. The investigation is ongoing, and while the police haven't confirmed whether the suspect is indeed from our school, we cannot ignore this. If you have any information, report it to your homeroom teacher by noon. Do not lie. We will find out. Consider this an ultimatum. What is he talking about? The principal's sharp eye seemed to land on me, and my stomach twisted with unease. No, it's not me. It's not about me. Someone whispered, isn't this about Aono? Yes, that's it. This is about Aono. It's always about him, because he hurt Miyuki. I refuse to believe otherwise. I'm the king here. I can do whatever I want. Besides, there were no surveillance cameras there. No police in sight. And when someone called me back then, I left immediately, no trace, no evidence. The principal's voice droned on. Aono Eiji and Ikijo Ari saved a life and the fire department will present them with certificates of commendation. That's when it hit me. I'm being set up. Takayan Eiji's lazy attitude, those random interrogations, it was all an act. They were baiting me, keeping me relaxed until they had all the evidence lined up. And then, at the perfect moment, they hit me with an ultimatum. No time to run, no time to clean up loose ends. How do I summarize this? They killed two birds with one stone. First, they addressed the rumors, letting the bad news linger in everyone's minds. But then, they immediately followed it with Aono's heroic act, effectively erasing any credibility the rumors had. Everyone in this gym, every single student, just went from seeing Aono as violent to seeing him as a hero. This was a trap, carefully and flawlessly planned, all to destroy the rumors I spread. Damn it. You've got to be kidding me. If it's come to this, I'll have to contact my father. He can pressure the school into backing off. But then I remembered. My phone, smashed yesterday. I can't make a call. Shit, I cursed under my breath, low enough that no one would hear. A sharp scream pierced the air. Students began murmuring, and I heard someone shout for a teacher. Someone had collapsed, probably from anemia. Chaos rippled through the lines of students. This is it. My chance. In the confusion, I slipped out of line and bolted for the gym exit. If I can just get out of here, I can find a phone, call my father, and fix this. If I get arrested, it's over. My soccer dreams, my girlfriends, my entire life, gone. And if that happens, who even am I anymore? Come on, come on, come on. I ran away from school. Manager's POV. Watching the principal's speech and Kondo-kuan's panicked escape, I couldn't help but chuckle to myself. This is going to be interesting. Oh, Kondo-kuan, you really got caught this time. I almost feel sorry for you, but if I step in to help, I'll only drag myself down with you. I think you're done here. Bye, Kondo-kuan. I'll delete the SNS accounts I used to keep in touch with him. Every message, every trace, gone. Our relationship ends here. Sure, I spread those rumors too. But I'll play dumb, act like I was fooled by the lies just like everyone else. I'll apologize, feign regret. The school won't punish someone who admits they were misled. After all, there are too many others who spread the same lies. They can't punish us all. Maybe we went too far by messing with Eiji-kuan's belongings. But the club members? They'll say they were just speaking their minds. None of us will face consequences. Kondo-kuan is done for, a broken toy tossed aside. But I'm curious to see how this all ends. He acted like a villain, claimed to be a psychopath, but in the end, he was just a fake. Let's enjoy the story to come. Takayaniji's POV. I watched as Kondo bolted out of the gym like a rat caught in a trap. Idiot. Running away now is as good as confessing. They'll eat you alive. The fact that Aono wasn't involved in the assault will become clear, and the sudden closeness between Kondo and Amada will look suspicious. Add to that Kondo's little sprint for the exit, it doesn't take much for rumors to spread. But then again, you already know that, don't you, Kondo? Tired of watching that mess unfold, I turned away and hurried over to help Amada Miyuki, who had collapsed in the chaos. Chapter 78 Eiji and the Principal. After the school assembly, I was scheduled to attend the principal's English class in an empty classroom. To be honest, I struggle with English. I find it difficult to pronounce English words, and when it comes to long sentences that I can smoothly read in Japanese, I tend to stutter in English. It's honestly pretty stressful. However, the principal's English classes are genuinely enjoyable. He teaches me a lot of useful English expressions, partly because he loves to travel. During long vacations, he visits English-speaking countries like the Philippines, Australia, New Zealand, the US, and Canada. He told me an interesting story during our last class. I quite like American whiskey. Did you know? The home of whiskey is Scotland, where it's called Scotch whiskey, but Scotch whiskey and American whiskey are actually spelled differently, whiskey and whiskey. This difference comes from the fact that many American whiskey makers were Irish immigrants. The Irish take great pride in being the first in the world to make whiskey, and so they use their own spelling, distinct from Scotch whiskey. In Japan, we use the Scottish spelling because Japanese whiskey making was modeled after Scotch whiskey. Fascinating, isn't it? Even within the same language, words carry different meanings and histories depending on their origin. If you can understand these underlying themes, your English will improve much more quickly. Sensei has an exceptional grasp of English. At first, I was stubborn and refused to speak English while in Japan, but thanks to him, I've opened up to it. My perspective has broadened, and I've grown more confident. Since then, I've started to genuinely enjoy learning English. It's become a habit for me to practice listening by watching English dramas my mother subscribed to. The principal entered the classroom. Aono-kuan. Can I talk to you for a moment before we start the class? Sensei greeted me with his usual warm smile. Yes, first, let's talk about the incident on Saturday. Like I said before, I'm really proud of you. I'm sorry you had to go through that because we weren't there for you, but you didn't give up. You stood your ground and faced harsh reality head-on. That, in itself, is an incredible thing. You're a person of character, beyond what most adults can imagine. When you saw someone in pain, you didn't hesitate to reach out a helping hand. You acted, even while carrying your own burdens. Students like you are rare, Aono-kuan. As a teacher, I couldn't be prouder. I'm set to retire next year, and and I feel truly fortunate to have met a student like you at the end of my career. Thank you. The principal bowed deeply. No, it's not just me. I was able to act because my friends and teachers supported me, and I was able to save him because of the nurse's quick assistance, the uncle who called the ambulance, and Ikijo-san, who managed to get the AED. Really, you kids? Ikijo-san said the exact same thing to me earlier. You both highlight each other's strengths and remain humble about your own. You two are really in sync. Hearing that was a little embarrassing. But how could I not feel happy being told I'm a good match with someone I like? When my face started to heat up, Sensei just smiled knowingly. I heard the fireman will be visiting the school after classes today. Let's make sure we study hard until then. And with that, our fun English lesson began. Chapter 79 Aono Eiji and Amada. Aono Eiji's Po v. Since there was no class during the second period, I went to the infirmary with Mitsuo-sensei and waited for Amada to wake up. Amada looked incredibly pale. It was clear she hadn't had a proper meal or a good night's sleep. This must be due to guilt. Up until the first semester, Amada and Aono were so close. Seeing their relationship fall apart like this was genuinely painful, especially after watching them grow together. Here. After about 10 minutes, Amada opened her eyes. She still looked completely out of it. This is the infirmary. You collapsed from anemia during the school assembly. Are you okay now? How do you feel? She didn't seem to register my words, her face growing even paler. Where's Eiji? I have to stop Eiji. He's going to die. Because of me. With a panicked look, she tried to jump out of bed, but her body was weak and unsteady. In a hurry, Mitsuo-sensei and I helped her back onto the bed. Calm down. Aono is with the principal right now. When I said that, her expression crumbled, and she started crying. She was too emotionally fragile to be questioned properly. I see. A dream, who? Hearing her speak like a broken doll was heartbreaking. Are you okay? Yes. She looked at me with a resigned expression, as if she'd made up her mind. Amada, maybe this isn't the best place to ask, but don't you think it's time to tell me the truth? The ultimatum we had given earlier hung heavy in the air. Her collapse during the assembly wasn't a coincidence. Yes, sensei. Her voice trembled, her words fractured and fragile. I had an affair with Kondo-senpai. Eiji. When Eiji found out, I was scared of losing everything, so I did what senpai told me to do. I helped create a story that Eiji had hurt me. But he only touched my wrist. That's all. And yet, we isolated him. We pushed him to the edge. It's all my fault. The revelation hit me like a punch to the gut. Aono tried to take his own life because of this. The weight of that knowledge was suffocating. At the same time, I couldn't help but feel disappointed. Amada, an honor student, had chosen self-preservation over truth. I had suspected it, but hearing her confess it so directly was still a shock. I see. So you lied to me back then, didn't you? Yes. She nodded slowly, her shoulders trembling. Amada, why would you do such a thing? If Aono had died, there would have been no way to undo it. Even now, there's no going back. Even if you admit everything and apologize, there will still be people who refuse to believe you. Aono's tarnished reputation won't be so easily repaired. You may not have realized it at the time, but this is one of the worst things someone can do to another person. There was nothing left to defend. I've done a lot of research on cases like this. False accusations aren't just morally wrong, they're criminal. If the school had believed your story, Aono would have been expelled. Do you understand the weight of what you did? I'm no lawyer, but I've seen enough cases in the news. People have been arrested for defaming others with lies. It wouldn't be surprising if Amada faced the same consequences. I understand. Do you realize you could even be arrested for this? Why would you risk your entire future on something like this? Regret for not being able to protect my students, anger at being betrayed, and frustration at the entire situation bubbled over in my voice. The most I could do now was try to prevent Amada from being dragged away by the police in front of her parents and peers. What's going to happen to me now? Her voice was weak, barely a whisper. The punishment for a student committing such a crime would be severe, suspension or even expulsion. I think the punishment will be quite severe. That was all I could tell her. Even if she stayed at school, her classmates would blame her. They'd ask why she lied and why she let things escalate to this point. The school was preparing new policies to address verbal abuse and bullying, with severe consequences for those who fueled the situation. Students who spread false rumors or actively hurt Aono would be expelled. And Aono, the worst victim in all of this, was left with a scar on his heart that might never fully heal. There was no way to justify or excuse what had happened. Kondo and Amada had twisted so many lives. Oh no. No. A wail of pure anguish filled the infirmary. I signaled Mitsue-sensei to take over from here. As I walked down the hallway, I heard her faint voice behind me. If she hadn't introduced me to Senpai back then, this wouldn't have happened. Ah, so that's how it is. Her words lingered in the air like a puzzle piece snapping into place, a crucial clue pointing to the mastermind behind it all. Chapter 80. Clear the name and Ikijo Ari's anger. Ari's Po V. Hey, those rumors about Aono are definitely false, right? Yes. If the rumors were true and he was involved with the police, how could he have received a certificate from the fire department? Then you mean someone is lying and trying to make Aono look bad? Well, I think so. Then who lied? During the break, I took out my phone and checked the school's SNS account. I knew that there were people who questioned the rumors and discussed them on the message board. Well, I already suspected it, because Ikijo-san was willing to be on Aono's side. Yes. She would never go near a violent man. So she was the only one who knew Aono was innocent and supported him all the time. Amazing. She tried to protect the victim even if it meant making enemies herself. But Ikijo-san said she owed Aono a debt of gratitude. Besides, they were both together on Saturday when they helped people, weren't they? That's definitely a holiday date. They also had an after-school date the other day, so they must be dating. I'm embarrassed by the gossip about me. I don't feel bad about the rumors, even though we're not dating yet. I took the liberty of using the word yet. I can't lie about my feelings anymore, but my first priority is to clear Senpai's name. You probably all know who lied, don't you? With that one sentence from me, the flow of the message board quickly changed. No more writing was needed. Yes, from here, the truth will spread across the internet like a dam breaking. You are right. And Amada Miyuki was clearly in shock and collapsed when that story came out. We're in the same class, but Kondo hasn't been seen since after the school assembly. That's it. The two of them used to hang out a lot before this incident happened. Kondo ran away and left his woman. So you're saying they were having an affair and were afraid of being found out, so they blamed it all on Aono-kun. If that's true, that's too cruel. No way. I'm so shocked. I feel sorry for Aono-kun. The trust that was broken so badly is not easy to regain, but this should improve things dramatically. I didn't want to use these methods. But the other side did it first. I will make you take responsibility for driving someone important to me, Aono Eiji, into a corner. I will never forgive you all. You both have to pay for what you did. Because you drove a kind man to the point of considering side for the sake of your own self-preservation, this is still light. I closed the SNS app in anger at the irresponsibility of people who switch sides so easily. I will use everything I have to protect those I care about. I know that if I don't, I won't be able to protect anything. I will send a message to Kurwa. In the worst case, ask my father for me. Please make sure that I contact him immediately. Even if I have to lower my head, if it's for him. I'm sure that Councillor Kondo will make his move soon. If he gets out of control and does something cowardly to Senpai's house, I will never forgive him. They said the fire department would come after school to give us a certificate. The media will also be there, and the coverage of the event should further improve the reputation of Senpai, who was so deeply hurt by this incident. If this is broadcast successfully, no one will be able to bother Senpai anymore. I will put an end to this today. I braced myself. Chapter 81. Father and Bad Girl. Councillor Kondo's Po V. Father, help me. I'm in trouble. My son comes into the office and suddenly starts crying. What's wrong? Why aren't you in school? I had a bad feeling. He's a womanizer, just like me. I wonder if the school found out about the trouble he caused the other day. What a total pain in the A_S. My son told me what happened. That he got in trouble over a love affair and beat up a junior student. That he was so angry he isolated the junior by spreading false rumors online. That members of the soccer club who idolized him got out of hand and bullied the junior. Apparently, the incident was reported as an assault, and both the school and the police are investigating. When I heard his story, my blood ran cold. At this critical time before the mayoral election. This incident could have a more devastating impact than the hotel scandal. This problem must be solved immediately. I've heard no serious action has been taken yet. If that's the case, it's okay. I'll put pressure on the school and try to cover it up. If that doesn't work, I'll use my power and money to pressure the victim's family into withdrawing the report. The fact that the police are involved means the family must have filed a formal complaint. It remains to be seen if there's clear evidence. If there isn't, we'll put pressure on them and keep them quiet. Hey, if this gets out, you and I will be ruined. Listen, don't do anything more unnecessary. Please don't get in my way. Leave the rest to me. Most things can be solved with money and power, I warned him. It's too late to regret what happened. What are we going to do now? It's okay, we've always managed before. Okay, I'll talk to the school. You stay home for now. Listen, don't ever go out. Manager's Po V. The boring Japanese class began. This teacher had no idea what she was teaching us, so I pretended to read a Japanese textbook. An introduction to Russian literature in my bag caught my eye. I love Dostoevsky's Crime and Punishment. A small sin can be atoned for by many good deeds. So a genius who can bring much development to society need not be bound by trivial ethics. My favorite way of thinking. I've loved writing since I was a child. I won a gold medal in a national Japanese writing contest. I've won prizes in slogan contests, book reports, and countless others. Everyone praised me as a genius. In middle school, I realized the world was like a story. With a little intervention on my part, the fates of stupid people could be easily destroyed. I could keep my hands clean while someone else did the dirty work. All I had to do was give them a little push. For example, I could whisper to an idiot like Kondo-kun, she's cute, you know. But I think she has a boyfriend. I heard they were childhood friends, and he, who loves to tear apart other people's dignity, would move exactly as I wanted. It's so simple. The fate of humans rests in the palm of my hand. I am the author of their story. Kondo-kun was really excellent as a toy. He was the easiest character to manipulate. In my life, which had been going so smoothly, I experienced my first setback because of Aono Eiji, a junior student. In terms of writing talent, I thought I had no rival at my age. But he had a talent that surpassed mine. When I read his novel, I broke into a cold sweat. How could such an unknown boy, a junior, write so well? I was jealous. I also wished he would disappear. My status crumbled. My confidence in my work suddenly seemed cheap, and I deleted his manuscript data. His talent had to be destroyed. Geniuses often destroy themselves through entangled relationships. That's how I rationalized it. His talent had to be extinguished before it could fully bloom. Only then would my position remain secure. I thought about corrupting him, but I gave up. His honest nature and childhood love made it impossible. This hurt my pride even more. I was furious that I, a woman, had not been chosen. My next method was Kondo-kun. Aono-kun ruined my pride as a woman, so I decided to destroy his dignity as a man. I manipulated Kondo-kun into targeting Miyuki Amada. I made sure they were caught together on Aono-kun's birthday, planning to slip the hotel photos into his desk. But something even more amusing happened. I never thought they'd actually meet. Fate is amusing. So I decided to rewrite the story in a more interesting direction. I set Kondo-kun on fire and isolated Aono-kun. By the way, the SNS app we used was a bit unique. If one of us deleted our message history, it would disappear without a trace. The app was made overseas, and its servers were located abroad. In the worst-case scenario, the police couldn't do anything about it. First of all, this is just a bullying problem. I doubt the police would go that far. Since I deleted the history, when Kondo-kun opens the app, the messages will automatically disappear. I feel sorry for him. No matter how much Kondo-kun insists on my involvement, there's no proof. And with his reputation for bad behavior, he can't possibly reach me, the gentle honor student. Aono-kun should have quit the literature club and retired from creative writing. Anyway, my original goal was achieved. Ah, that was fun. Chapter 82 Counselor Kondo vs. School. Counselor Kondo's Po V. I quickly drove to the school to deal with the problem. I believe in nipping problems in the bud to avoid complications. Like the hotel incident before, I found that some problems can be solved with a bribe. This is just my way of handling things. It was after 12:30. I deliberately chose the lunch hour, thinking it would be easier to speak with the teachers I wanted to see. The key figures in this case seem to be a teacher named Eiji, who is in his 30s, and the principal. Just the right age. Eiji has a promising future, I can support him. The principal is nearing retirement, it's comforting to have a lot of money during those years. If I tempt them with money, it will work. At the reception, I stated my requirements. I am a city council member, the father of Kondo Seiji, a third-year student. I want to speak with the principal and Takaya Eiji-sensei, declare myself as a city council member and exert pressure on those around me. This should allow me to meet with them quickly. Sure enough, the receptionist responded immediately, and I was escorted to the principal's office. This is where the battle began. Welcome, Kondo-san. After 10 minutes of waiting, 2 people arrived, the principal and Takaya Eiji-sensei. We exchanged introductions. I apologize for taking time out of your busy schedules. I have a matter concerning my son that I would like to discuss with both of you. Pretend to grovel and satisfy their self-esteem. If that doesn't work, threaten them. Oh, what do you mean? I heard that you two are suspicious of my son regarding the assault that happened 2 weeks ago. At these words, the two looked confused, as if they were pretending. The principal replied, "No, we do not suspect your son. We are simply informing all the students during the school assembly. Does the fact that you're bringing this up mean you know something about your son's involvement?" Damn, he got me. I see, they didn't say it outright. Stupid son of a B_TCH. Yes, that seems to be the case. I asked my son about it, and he admitted that he hit a junior over a love problem. I am very sorry for what he did. I wonder if there's any way we can settle this peacefully. I'm sure the school doesn't want this kind of scandal to go public either. Our interests align. I see. I wish I had heard that earlier. We asked him directly about the situation. You didn't know? Oh, it seems the principal is quite persistent. This is the first I've heard of it. He's at the age of puberty. I suppose he didn't want to share his problems with his parents. My son is at a crucial point in his life as he prepares for college. I've tried to secure a spot for him in the university's athletic department, and they gave us a positive response. It would be detrimental to his future if this issue became public. I'm sure the teachers would agree. Scandals like these are the media's favorite headlines. If possible, it would be better to keep this quiet. In our generation, it was just a kid's fight. I believe it's best to avoid causing unnecessary harm to each other over something so trivial. At these words, they both stiffened. Apparently, the threat had worked. The teacher in his 30s, who had remained silent until now, finally spoke. What do you mean? Is it just a fight between kids? Yes, when I was younger, it was common for kids to get into fights. But nowadays, parents tend to blow these things out of proportion. I'm willing to apologize to the victims' parents and show them my sincerity. Therefore, I'd like to ask the school to keep a low profile in this matter. If such incidents become public, they could damage the school's reputation and reduce the number of applicants for future entrance exams. Now the threats begin. The young teacher continued, "Do you mean you want the school to cover it up?" Cover up is the wrong word. But I'm a professional, and I have connections in many places. If the school cooperates with me, I'm sure it will be a positive outcome. The bad publicity won't surface. It would be a win-win situation for both the school and me, right? Takaya Eiji's expression hardened as if caught off guard, and he let out a small sigh. Don't be stupid. I knew it, the hot-blooded type, rare these days. Takaya Eiji-sensei, consider this a business discussion. If you keep your mouth shut, I'll do you a favor in the future. Or would you rather make an enemy of me and struggle for scraps? I've already dropped my gentlemanly facade. Now I can wield the violent instrument called power. He was silent. He's pretty funny when he's flustered. Oh well, it can't be helped. Do you understand? My son has a bright future. Will you let him have it? You claim to take this matter seriously over a few punches exchanged between kids, but to me, it looks like overreaction. I think your management skills are the real issue here. In the private sector, incompetence like this would get you fired. Fired. The young teacher turned red and trembled at my sly remarks. Ah, I love this feeling of dominance. With all due respect, I looked into the face of an angry Takaya Eiji. But a young man like him can't do anything. He's just a teacher. Takaya Eiji-sensei, calm down. Panicking, the principal intervened to stop him. He seemed to know his place. But, sensei, seeing Takaya Eiji's frustrated face as he glanced at his boss, I knew I had won. Takaya Eiji-sensei, you're still young. You don't have to take the brunt of an old principal's burden. That's the elder's job. Sorry, Kondo-san, you're a good-natured old man, principal. Well, this approach is faster. At least the principal knows what he's talking about. From now on, Just as I was about to discuss our plans, the principal slammed his desk loudly. A sharp thud echoed. "What are you doing?" I couldn't help but raise my voice. "A kid's fight." "Shame on you. Your son nearly ruined another student's future." The principal, who had been smiling gently moments ago, was now furious. His angry voice reverberated through the room. "Who? What?" Not knowing what was happening, I stammered. "I will not allow you to mock my staff any longer. Takayama Eiji-sensei does not deserve such disrespect." A stronger counterattack came at me. Chapter 83 Monster Parents vs. Principal as Educator. Takayama Eiji's POV. For the first time, the principal became angry and raised his voice. Counselor Kondo and I involuntarily froze. I had heard that the principal was nicknamed the Fighter during his days in the rugby club. Since he usually didn't scold anyone and always wore a smile, I had assumed the stories were exaggerated. But now, I realized the stories were true. Even Counselor Kondo, who had come here intending to exert pressure, was overwhelmed by his presence. The principal continued. "If we are not good enough at listening, people will start saying things that are completely off the mark. Look, you're a counselor, right? You're supposed to be a role model for the citizens. Even when it comes to family problems, you should be the one taking the most responsibility. Yet here you are, denigrating Takayama Eiji-sensei, who has set aside his own concerns to fulfill his duties. You are in a position of responsibility, funded by taxpayer money, and you're trying to force the school to cover up a violent incident involving a child. That's nonsense. It's a disgusting betrayal of the trust of the citizens who voted for you." His words were sharp and logical, yet his voice never wavered. I almost wanted to applaud him for standing firm and refusing to bow to demands for a cover-up. Counselor Kondo, who had been frozen for a while, finally opened his mouth. What will happen to the school's reputation if something like this gets out? Because of a principal like you, clinging to a ridiculous sense of justice, the history and traditions of this school will be tarnished. But the principal responded without hesitation. What pride would this school have if we covered up such an incident? On the contrary, I, as a principal, would be ashamed to be blamed for doing so. Tell me, what's the value of letting violent incidents and bullying fester just to protect some hollow sense of tradition? A school's proud legacy is built by every student who learns here and carries that legacy forward. What value is there in preserving the past at the expense of the future of the children who are supposed to create that tradition? This is simply a misunderstanding of the purpose and meaning of education. What? Counselor Kondo, clearly not expecting such resolute rejection, froze. How can you call yourself an educator if you can't protect a single student? To protect one student, a wound of this size is a small price to pay. Kondo-san, you're misunderstanding something. But my son is also a student here. The school has a duty to protect him, and even your reputation will suffer. Kondo-san, your son did something he was not legally allowed to do. A teacher's job is to educate. There's a difference between protecting students and coddling them. When they do something wrong, it's our job to teach them to take responsibility and make amends. Covering up a crime would only damage the school's reputation further. Counselor Kondo's face turned red with frustration, unable to counter the principal's flawless argument. Well, I get it now. You people are idiots. This was your chance, and you blew it. Don't regret it. Your teaching careers and the traditions of this school will suffer for this. He spat out his frustration, slammed the door, and stormed out. The principal and I exchanged glances and then smiled. Takayama Eiji-sensei, no matter what he said, I am proud of your actions. Don't worry about it. The time for ultimatums is over. You don't have to hold back anymore. The principal opened the door to the adjoining reception room. Inside, we were greeted by smiling newspaper reporters and the eldest son of the elderly man who had collapsed earlier. To my surprise, it was Yamada-san, a retired former chairman of the prefectural council, whom Aono and Eiji had once helped. He had retired due to old age, and his eldest son had succeeded him. In other words, this eldest son is now a current member of the prefectural council. Councillor Yamada bowed his head in apology. As a member of the same group, I am ashamed that Kondo-san behaved in such a manner. We will address this matter appropriately. A reporter stepped forward hurriedly. About what he said earlier. I have it all recorded on my voice recorder. In the distance, I could almost hear Councillor Kondo stumbling down the hill. Chapter 84 Bloody Monday Incident. Ueda's POV. I walked from the cafeteria back to the classroom. It was about half an hour after lunch. As I made my way down the hall, the phone in my pocket vibrated. The soccer club's SNS group was lighting up with message notifications. Oh my god, I heard Kondo-senpai ran away. Who? During the school assembly earlier, after they mentioned the violent incident, when Amada-san fainted, someone said they saw Kondo-senpai running out of the gym in the middle of the chaos. What the hell? He's the one who dragged us into this mess, and yet he was the first to run away. Apparently, the police are investigating Kondo-senpai now. This might involve us, too. How much do they know? That we helped spread the rumors? That we participated in the bullying? Or that we destroyed school property? What are we going to do now? I need to finish in the top 4 in the prefecture to secure a sports recommendation. There's no way you're getting out of this, idiot. Bass_ed. What did you just say to your senpai? The group chat was spiraling into chaos. Everyone was panicking, their fear palpable. I could almost hear the blood rushing in my ears. If only I could go back and stop all this. But then, more fuel was thrown onto the fire. If Kondo is being targeted by the police, then someone must have betrayed him. There's a traitor among us. You're right. The way things are escalating, it's happening too fast. Hey, I just got a call from the coach. The soccer team is on indefinite suspension. He didn't give any details. You're kidding? The soccer club is being completely targeted. We're done for. And now the captain's been called out by the homeroom teacher. They took him to another classroom. Fear spread like poison as the situation unfolded in real time. The next person called in could be me. No, it's me or Aida. Takayama-sensei interrogated us the other day. At the time, I was relieved because it ended without much trouble, but what if we were just being set up? If that's the case, the sound of approaching footsteps echoed in the hallway. My chest tightened, and I turned around to see Iwai-sensei, the dean of students, grinning at me. A part of me felt relieved that it wasn't Takayama-sensei, but he spoke with a cold smile. I'm sorry, Ueda. I'd like to ask you something. Can you come to the guidance office? Instinctively, I felt danger and tried to make an excuse. No, I have class soon. Besides, it's fine. I've already spoken with your next teacher. There's something more important I need to teach you now. And you have an idea of what I'm talking about, don't you? No, I mean, words failed me. Iwai-sensei's cold expression was one I had never seen before. Don't bother trying to talk your way out of this. We already have everything we need. He pulled a folded piece of paper from his pocket and held it up in front of me. It was a printout of the SNS group chat from the second-year soccer club members. The entire plan, how Aida and I had plotted to bully Aono, was written out in black and white. First of all, it's ridiculous that someone like Aono is dating Amada-san. He's not worth it, right? Senpai said that since we're in the same class, we should teach him a lesson. So I guess we have no choice. Exactly. I can't forgive him for hurting such a beautiful girl. If Kondo-senpai and the captain told us to do it, then we didn't have much of a choice. Alright, let's meet after morning practice. How had something that was supposed to stay private among friends ended up? The answer came immediately. Someone must have sold us out for their own gain. No, that's not true. It was just a joke. Oh, I see. But the principal already made it clear, if any student knows anything about this incident, they need to report it to their homeroom teacher by noon. He said this is an ultimatum. You understand what that means, right? We'll discuss everything in the guidance's office. Take your time, we've got all day. My legs felt like they were going to give out beneath me. The school-wide punishment, infamously nicknamed Bloody Monday, was about to begin. Chapter 85 Condemnation of the Soccer Club. Captain's POV. My homeroom teacher led me into an empty chemistry prep room. An unsettling atmosphere hung in the air, and I couldn't shake the bad feeling creeping over me. No, deep down, I already understood. I just didn't want to admit it. Photos of Kondo had been circulated. The investigation intensified. Everything was about to come to light. That was the only explanation for why I was here now. The vice principal was waiting inside. Do you know why you were called here? He was an elderly man who usually spoke in a calm and polite tone. But today, he felt like an executioner delivering judgment. I don't know. I tried to resist, even if just a little. But I already knew it was useless. I see. You know, I had a lot of respect for the soccer team. You performed admirably in every prefectural tournament, overcoming the challenges of being a public school. But you became arrogant. Power has a way of blinding people. And we teachers share some of the blame for failing to keep that in check. I deeply regret that. His words carry the weight of someone who already knew everything. My heart pounded in my chest. There was no escape now. The school has already obtained evidence of Kondo's problematic behavior. And we've also uncovered proof of the soccer team's organized involvement in bullying Aono Eiji, a second-year student. The vice principal's cold, calm, and rational demeanor reminded me of a great detective cornering a criminal in a mystery novel. I have no. Before I could finish, he shook his head. We already know you're lying, so don't waste your breath. While you may not have been directly involved, you ordered your juniors to target Aono-kun. This messaging app history confirms it. We've also found your secret SNS accounts. You spread false rumors and encouraged others to do the same. Are you still going to deny that you were the mastermind behind this? Cold sweat, rapid heartbeats, guilt, and fear surged through me all at once. Under the pressure of his words, I broke down and admitted everything. Yes, I went too far. I apologize. I've caused trouble for the school. But from now on, I'll reflect on my actions and dedicate myself to soccer more than ever. I desperately tried to continue my apology, but the vice principal clapped his hands sharply, silencing me. Apologize? And for causing trouble for the school? You're going to work harder at soccer? Are you serious? There was a glimmer of hope in his tone, and I nodded quickly, clinging to it. Yes, I'm serious. I'll change, I promise. First, you must apologize to Aono Eiji. His voice thundered through the small room, freezing me in place. I couldn't speak, couldn't move, only stare at him in shock. Apologize to the victim. This isn't about you or your future. Bullying is a criminal act. It's not something you can just brush off. What you did has the potential to ruin someone's life. Do you understand that? Aono-kun's parents have already reported this to the police. They're likely to file a civil lawsuit against you, the soccer club, and everyone involved in the bullying. You can't stop that now. And it won't just be you, your parents will also bear responsibility. You, the captain, who should have protected your team members, instead dragged them into hell with your negligence. You failed as a leader. His words cut into me like a blade of dry ice, freezing and slicing my heart at the same time. The vice principal's gaze bore into me, cold and unyielding. And what about the soccer team, really? Is there any hope? No. Many members, including you, will face severe punishment. Do you think the school will allow a club riddled with bullying and scandal to continue operating? The soccer club is in the process of being disbanded, and naturally, there's no way we'll allow you to participate in the upcoming tournament. But if we don't make the top 4, my sports recommendation. What are you talking about? No school would issue a recommendation to a student with such a stain on their record. You destroyed your own bright future, and that's exactly what you tried to do to Aono-kun. Now, do you understand the weight of your actions? With those final words, the vice principal turned and left the room. I collapsed onto the desk, sobbing uncontrollably. I couldn't stop thinking about the other members of the soccer club. They were probably going through the same thing right now. And deep within the pit of my chest, anger and resentment toward Kondo slowly began to simmer and rise. Chapter 86 Eiji's Certificate of Appreciation and Kondo vs. Police. Certificate of Appreciation. Aono Eiji-san. I would like to express my deepest appreciation for your prompt and precise life-saving treatment of an elderly man who collapsed in front of a train station in the city, saving his life. I want to express my deepest gratitude. Fire Chief Shorgio Kita. I was honored at the second school assembly today. The applause from the audience was loud and heartfelt. The firefighters came to the school to recognize my life-saving efforts with an AED. Apparently, the grandpa we helped survived thanks to the timely and proper treatment. The school newsletter and newspaper will cover the incident, and it seems the local newspaper will also publish a feature. After the assembly, there was even time for an interview, which made me nervous. Aono-san. Ikijo-san. Even though you're still students, you were the first to step in and provide life-saving care. The nurse praised you, and the doctor said it could have been dangerous if you hadn't acted correctly. You saved a precious life. You truly are heroes. The fire chief praised us softly, a warm smile on his face. No, I couldn't have done it alone. I only acted well because the people around me supported me. I was only able to move because Senpai guided me. It was because of him. I don't know if I really deserve this. Hearing our words, the fire chief laughed kindly. Come on, you're still in high school. When I was your age, I only thought about myself, extracurricular activities, studying, friends. But you stepped up and made a difference. It's always better to do good than to regret not doing anything. Give yourselves more credit. You deserve this honor. His words offered a comforting warmth. As I turned to look at the audience, I noticed fewer students from my class, maybe 5 or 6 remained. Miyuki still wasn't there. I recalled Takayama Eiji-sensei's words about the ongoing investigation into the students involved in the incident. Were those absent students part of it? No, it wasn't helpful to dwell on that right now. Congratulations, senpai. Ikijo-san, standing beside me, beamed with pride. Thank you for everything, Ikijo-san. Maybe it was too soon to say such things to someone I'd only known for a week. But the experience we shared felt denser and more meaningful than time itself. I'm standing here because of her. Kondo-senpai, hello. I'm from the police. Are you Kondo-san? We'd like to ask about your son. Could you please open the gate? That afternoon, the bell at our gate rang. I checked the surveillance camera and froze. Several uniformed police officers stood outside, waiting. Who? A pitiful sound escaped my throat. This couldn't be happening. My father said he'd handle everything. We're an upper-class family, untouchable. This had to be a mistake, some kind of misunderstanding. But as I scrambled backward in a panic, I tripped over a table leg and hit the floor hard. The sharp pain jolted me back to reality. This wasn't a dream. This was real. Kondo-san? Please open the gate. Can't you at least hear us out? My chest tightened, and it felt like an icy guillotine was hanging over me. I have to run. With that decision made, I bolted. Climbing over the fence, I made my escape. But they spotted me almost instantly. Hey, someone's running. Damn it, they noticed too quickly. I sprinted as fast as I could, my feet pounding against the pavement. Unconsciously, I found myself heading toward the school. Hey, stop right there. Shouts echoed behind me, but I couldn't stop. The throne I once believed was mine, the life of privilege and control, was crumbling silently beneath my feet. And all I could do was run, desperate and hollow, down an empty street. Chapter 87 Kondo's Escape Drama. Kondo-senpai. Damn, how did this happen? I'm the ace of the soccer club, a gem destined to play for the national team. No matter how much I try to boost my self-esteem, the sharp, angry voices of the police keep cutting through. Don't run. Hey, someone cut him off from the side. Hearing that, I dashed into a narrow alley. These streets were familiar, I'd run these routes during training. I could predict where the police would try to intercept me. Thankfully, I was wearing comfortable clothes and running shoes. My body was in perfect condition for a sprint. Damn it, I'll get away with this. After all, they're just cops. There's no way they can outrun the ace of the soccer club? I never thought I'd run more laps here than in an actual match, but adrenaline does strange things. Stick to familiar routes. If they catch me, I'll call my dad. He'll figure something out. Let's see if you can keep up with me. With a burst of speed, I pushed forward. The school gate was coming into view. Eiji-senpai. Well then, Aono-kun, Ikijo-san. I'm going to use this for today's evening paper, so smile for me. Yes, perfect. 2 young heroes. Here we go. After a brief interview, we stood in front of the school gate for a photo. With the certificate of appreciation from the fire chief in hand, Ikijo-san and I posed side by side. The photographer's camera clicked. Apparently, my interview would also be featured on the TV news. The thought made me embarrassed yet proud. I decided then I'd visit my father's grave with the evening paper. It might surprise him since I visited just last month, but I wanted to share this moment properly. Yes, perfect. Hold that pose. I'll take a few more shots. The photographer's relaxed smile helped me ease my nerves. Ikijo-san, standing next to me, whispered with a soft smile, "This is our first 2-shot photo." I'm kinda happy. Her cheeks turned slightly pink, and I felt my face heating up as well. From a distance, other students watched us. The atmosphere had shifted. Before, there were cold, judgmental stares, but after the award ceremony, the gazes were softer, warm yet hesitant. Maybe they were torn between trusting us or siding with Miyuki and Kondo-senpai. Senpai. There are people who understand you, like today. At least, I'll always be on your side, even if I have to turn the whole world against me. Let's leave behind those who waver so easily and focus on the good times ahead. Her words felt like a quiet confession. They filled my chest with warmth and courage. Thank you. Thanks to you, Ikijo-san, I feel like I can truly enjoy my high school life from now on. Gratitude welled up in me. A part of me wanted to take our connection a step further. But not here, not with so many people watching. I wanted it to be a special moment, just for the two of us. The week I've known you, senpai, has been more intense and meaningful than the years before we met. She spoke so softly that only I could hear. Somehow, words felt unnecessary between us now. We understood each other perfectly. Kondo's POV, almost there. If I could just get into the school, the police wouldn't be able to follow so easily. I planned to slip through the back entrance and hide until nightfall. But something unexpected happened. Even though classes weren't over yet, a large crowd had gathered near the school gate. My pace slowed as I tried to navigate through the crowd. No, they'll catch up. Hey, move! Don't you know who I am? I'm Kondo, the ace of the soccer club, I shouted angrily, shoving people aside. Hey! Somebody stop him! A policeman's voice boomed from behind, and chaos erupted. This is my chance, I thought, trying to slip through the confusion. But then, what? My right foot hit something hard, and I lost my balance. Time seemed to freeze as I fell forward, hitting the concrete with full force. Pain exploded in my knee, sharp and searing. My entire body ached from the impact. Reality didn't wait for me to recover. Voices rose above the ringing in my ears. A firm, authoritative voice called out, I got you, and another voice, colder but familiar, followed. I'm not letting you ruin my best friend's big day. You belong on the ground. My vision blurred as I tried to lift my head, desperate to see who had tripped me. But before I could focus, strong hands pressed me down. Stop, stop, stop. My struggles were useless. Several officers pinned me firmly. A hush fell over the crowd of students watching the scene unfold. And then, hey, isn't that Kondo-senpai? The ace of the soccer team. Cameras clicked, shutters firing like relentless gunfire. Chapter 88 Prefectural Assembly Member and the Falling Kondo Family. Eiji's POV. During our photo shoot, a loud commotion erupted in the distance. I wondered if a fight had broken out. The crowd made it hard to see what was happening. Kondo. Arrested. Police? I caught fragments of frantic voices. Kondo-senpai's name was mentioned. Honestly, I didn't want to get involved with him anymore. Sensing my hesitation, Ikijo-san said softly, let's head inside. It's getting cold, and we shouldn't keep the family waiting. The family of the grandpa we'd helped was waiting in the principal's office. It turned out the grandpa was a former prefectural assembly member, and his son, who was present today, had succeeded him and held the same position. You saved my father's life. Don't worry about me, go ahead and finish your photos. I'll be watching the evening news to see it later. I want to thank you properly, so I'll wait. With that, he patiently waited in the reception room. The reporter, driven by professional curiosity, was visibly distracted by the commotion. Once our photo shoot wrapped up, he muttered, I need to check something, grabbed his camera, and dashed off. After finishing the shoot, we entered the reception room, where the man was waiting for us with steaming cups of tea. As soon as we stepped in, he rose to greet us. First and foremost, thank you for saving my father. My name is Amada Miyuki, a member of the Prefectural Assembly. Aono-kun, Ikijo-san, you are true saviors of my family. I cannot thank you enough. Despite his stature and status, the gentleman bowed deeply, showing sincere gratitude. I felt flustered. No, we just did what anyone would have done. Besides, the nurse played a huge role too, I said, waving my hand dismissively. Ikijo-san chimed in. Please, there's no need to bow so deeply. We're just glad your father is safe. The nurse herself said if you two hadn't acted, she might not have noticed the situation in time. My father has a heart condition, and the doctor said it was a close call. I'm truly grateful you were there. His repeated bows spoke volumes about his sincerity. Despite his authority and position, he was incredibly humble. We're just happy Grandpa is okay. We were really worried about him too. At those words, Yamada-san finally looked up, his expression softening. You two are remarkable. It's hard to believe you're still in high school. My father would like to thank you in person. Please visit our home or the hospital at your convenience. I'll arrange transportation for you. He handed us a neatly designed business card with his contact information, the hospital name, and the grandpa's room number. Thank you. We'll make sure to visit soon. Ikijo-san accepted the card with her usual grace and a bright smile. Meanwhile, I felt like an awkward child stumbling through an adult world I wasn't ready for. And if you ever find yourselves in trouble, please don't hesitate to contact me. We aren't so ungrateful as to abandon our benefactors. No matter what happens, I'll be here to help. His words carried a firm yet warm assurance. We chatted for a while longer, sharing light laughter before saying our goodbyes. Counselor Kondo's POV. I was reviewing documents in my office when my secretary burst into the room, her face pale and strained. What happened? I asked sharply. Her trembling voice delivered a devastating blow. The police? They've arrested Seiji Boken on suspicion of assault. The pen slipped from my fingers, clattering onto the floor. My mind raced. Yes, there had been some tension at the school recently, but for the police to move this quickly. What on earth had happened? Contact Sawabi-san immediately. Our lawyer. Before I could finish the sentence, my secretary handed me the phone. He's already on the line. Sawabi-san, you've heard the situation, haven't you? What can we do? If this gets out. If it becomes public knowledge that my son was arrested, our family's reputation is finished. Even the normally composed lawyer sounded uneasy. This is serious. A formal report must have been filed. I'll head to the police station immediately to speak with your son and assess the situation. However, if it's escalated this far, our best option is to settle with the victim and have the charges dropped. I understand. Do whatever it takes. Pay whatever amount is necessary. Just settle this and make it disappear before it hits the media. With nothing but a fragile thread of hope, my chest felt tight, and my heart pounded uncontrollably. Chapter 89. Kondo starts crying and classmates are upset. Lawyer Sawabi's POV. It was a serious situation. I immediately requested a meeting with Seiji Kondo as his lawyer. I asked him what was going on with the police. Sawabi-san, get me out of here. I don't want to be arrested. He used to be so confident, but now he looked exhausted and cried pitifully through the glass while I listened to him swear in my heart. Calm down. Tell me what happened first. I calmed him down desperately and asked him about his condition. Apparently, the police came to his house to question him about the situation regarding the beating of a junior student. So he got scared and ran away. To make matters worse, he threw things at the officers as he ran down the alley. Presumably, there was no search warrant at the time the police came to the house and they were just there to ask what was going on. At worst, it was just a voluntary accompaniment. Why did he make such a big deal out of it? If he had done nothing, he might still be free to enjoy his life now. How could we cover it up after it became such a big deal? Really, the police must have decided that the matter had become so big that they were afraid he might run away again. I guess they arrested him for disturbing the peace because he was throwing things at them. Listen, Seiji-kun. Please don't do anything. No matter what the police say, please keep your mouth shut. That's all I can say for this spoiled idiot. But I'm so scared. Please help me, Sawabi-san. My soccer career. It's exhausting. How can I control such an idiot kid? Hey, Sawabi-san, Sawabi-san. I can play soccer again, can't I? Please tell me I can. I'm going to be a soccer player, and I'm going to surprise the world with my soccer talent. Then he started crying non-stop. I don't know what more I can do for this high school boy who looks more like a baby than I've ever seen. What about his soccer, really? I hold my head and feel like I'm going to cry, too. Miyuki's POV. I returned from the infirmary to the classroom. Sensei told me to stay home until the punishment was decided. She also told me that the punishment would be severe. When I returned to the classroom in despair, my friend Murata Ritsu approached me. Hey, Miyuki. Are you hiding something? Earlier, Kondo-senpai had been taken away by the police at the school gate. Hey, Miyuki. That's strange, isn't it? Because you were hurt by Aono-kun, weren't you? And Kondo-senpai was the one who saved you, right? Ritsu looked a bit panicked. The other students are looking at me as well. As if they were looking at a sinner. The same thing they did to Eiji comes back to me. I trembled and was on the verge of crying. Did Eiji have to endure so much hostility? I can't believe how scary this is. Sorry, that was the voice you could barely hear. Sorry? What the hell, Miyuki? You betrayed us. I trusted you because you are always nice and have good grades. We could be punished as well, you know. When I heard those cold words, I realized what a heavy sin I had committed. I knew it was irrevocable. I am sorry. I betrayed Eiji. I was afraid of being found out, so I lied to everyone. All I could do was apologize. I don't even know how to make amends. A hopeless and cold atmosphere spread in the classroom. Kondo father's Po v. Boss. I found out who filed the damage report. It was most likely the mother of a student named Eiji Aono. The student's family owns a restaurant called Kitchen Aono in front of the station. I was contacted by the secretary I had sent to the school to gather information. The excellent secretary also sent the location of the restaurant. Now I can go there and talk to them directly. Don't worry, there is nothing that money can't buy. I will do whatever it takes to solve this case. It was the only way I could survive. I started my car. Chapter 90 The Last Glory of Counselor Kondo. Kondo father's Po v. So this is the rumored Kitchen Aono. When I arrived at the place, I found it to be a long-established Western-style restaurant. According to information, Eiji Aono's father, who used to be the owner, died of illness a few years ago, and his mother and brother are now running the place. This is good news. In such a family structure, money is usually scarce and hard to come by. So even if they rebel at first, if I give them money, I'm sure they'll agree to make peace. I open the door. Welcome. How can I help you, Counselor Kondo. It was Eiji Aono's mother who came out. Since she knew who I was, I assumed that he was the one who reported my son's crime. Are you Eiji Aono's mother? First of all, be a gentleman and be polite. Yes, but what the hell can I do for you? It clearly oozes rejection. This is hard. I apologize for the trouble my son has caused. I too have just learned of my son's foolishness. I should have come earlier to apologize, but I apologize for the delay. I bow deeply. I have nothing to discuss. We will let the police do a thorough investigation. Please don't say that. Please, can you withdraw the report? My son has important club tournaments and college entrance exams coming up. Please consider this. My precious son was beaten. Please forgive him. Don't be silly. She got upset. It's a mess. Yes, of course. You are right to be upset. So, I'm not going to say it is free. I'll pay you a certain amount and so on. Please, please, in a case like this, talking about money should shake things up a bit. Do you really think that money will move me? You are really rude. She is a tough one. Well, that's okay. It's a fight from now on. But you need money, don't you? Even Eiji-kun is about to take his college entrance exams. Having any amount of money is not a bad thing. Come on, you're probably a little bothered by the reality that's hitting you. Let's see how it goes. Don't be rude. Don't be stupid, or I'll call the police. That was your last chance. You piss me off, you old hag. Aono-san. I'm a counselor and a contractor. If possible, I would like to settle this quietly. You are mature enough to understand what I am talking about, right? Are you threatening me? No way. I'm just introducing myself. Of course, it's a threat. As a counselor, you can put pressure on City Hall and get involved in all sorts of permit applications. And I have money. This is getting a little wobbly. I'll push through here. This restaurant is an important restaurant that your late husband left you. So you shouldn't make a big deal out of it. If I were serious, I could even do something about a restaurant like this. Come on, settle the case quickly. Get the money and be satisfied. Just when I was sure I had won, I heard applause from the back of the restaurant. The sound of dry clapping, along with the sound of shoes, came toward me. Who is it? The eldest son from the report. It was a wonderful speech, Kondo-kun. A wrinkled voice called my name in a friendly manner. Immediately, the possibility of it being the eldest son disappeared. Who is it? I've heard that voice before. The owner of the voice slowly appeared. The gesture of taking off the hat he wore on his head like an actor gave him a sense of power. Ah. You? My voice faltered at the unexpected appearance. I had no idea that you, a council member, had such power. It seems that I have not studied enough. So please teach me well. To this retired old man, Mayor Minomi laughs and sits down in front of me. It's been a few years since he retired, but he's still trusted by the staff and the council members, and he's still a very influential figure in the city government. Impossible. Let me ask you again, Kondo-kun. What can you do? Chapter 91 Councillor Kondo down on his knees. Kondo father's Po v. What are you saying? With a trembling voice, I say these words unintentionally. Trying to hide it is useless. Kondo-kun. I've heard everything behind the scenes. If you want to apologize, it would be polite to contact them first. But you show up out of the blue and start talking about money. You also try to force a settlement without considering the victim's feelings. As a human being, that was the worst thing you could have done. When I heard those words, my blood ran cold. I'm sorry. I lost my composure and used strong words. I was at a loss for words. I see. But, Kondo-kun, I'm actually a colleague of the principal of your son's high school. Now that I've said all that, do you understand what I'm saying? I felt a cold sweat run down my back. I remembered what I had told the principal earlier. That was, has the former mayor been told everything? When I realize what this means, I can't stop shaking. Oh well. Aono-san, turn on the TV. It's about time. Eiji-kun's big day is about to begin. I recorded it, but I want to see it live. Let's leave the clown alone for a while. Ah, yes. They immediately ignored me and turned on the TV in the restaurant. The evening news is on. A female announcer reads the following news. The high school students received certificates of appreciation. Eiji Aono, a second-year high school student, and Ari Akijo, a first-year high school student, both from XX City, received a certificate of appreciation from the fire department. On a recent Saturday, they helped an old man who suddenly collapsed in front of the station. The couple left the old man in an ambulance without giving their names. A video of these two heroes rescuing a fainting old man posted on SNS generated a lot of sympathy, and the fire department and police searched for the couple. They were identified by a teacher at the high school they attend. After the announcer's voice, some young high school students with big smiles on their faces were interviewed. When I heard the words Eiji Aono, I immediately understood that he was the son of this family. But I couldn't understand the value of this beautiful story. Kondo-kun? Do you know who the old man is that Eiji-kun saved? When Minami-san asked me that, I could only shake my head. Actually, it's Yamada-san, the former chairman of the prefectural assembly. Coincidence is a scary thing. You know Yamada-san, don't you? He's a leading figure in the same party as you. I do know him. He is an important figure in the prefectural assembly and a big shot that even council members would not be able to stand up to. He's retired now, but his son is taking over, and his son is a big deal too. I can't stop breaking out in a cold sweat. Yeah, that's right. There's someone I want you to meet, Kondo-kun. Hey, Yamada-kun. I heard the sound of shoes coming from behind me again. I really wanted to take the time to watch my benefactor's big day. Too bad, isn't it? Kondo-san, Yamada-san, a member of the prefectural assembly, has just arrived. He is a young hopeful who has taken over his father's position and is expected to enter the national political arena in the future. Why? Actually, I just met Eiji-kun at school. And I wanted to greet his parents properly, so I asked Minami-san to intercede on my behalf and come here. That's why I was disappointed to hear such silliness. He operated his phone and the voice recorder began to play the recorded sound. Aono-san. I'm a counselor and a contractor. If possible, I would like to settle this quietly. You are mature enough to understand what I am talking about, right? This restaurant is an important restaurant that your late husband left you. So you shouldn't make a big deal out of it. If I were serious, I could even do something about a restaurant like this. Can you deny this? Don't you know that other council members are in trouble for abusing their power? If the media finds out, it's all over. You should be ashamed. Your expulsion is already on the party's agenda. The usually gentlemanly Yamada, a member of the prefectural assembly, stormed towards me in anger. This is just a figure of speech. Why is Minami-san even here? Yamada-san and Minami-san replied with a loud sigh. The pensioner said coldly, the previous owner of this place was a good friend of mine. He was also very enthusiastic about volunteer work. I and the town were spoiled by his strength and kindness. You could say that the late Aono-san was a hero who sacrificed himself for this town, and we owe him a debt of gratitude that we cannot repay, no matter how hard we try. How could you serve as a counselor and not know? You are hurting, shaming, and threatening the legacy of this forgotten man. You are ready for this, aren't you? I hear the sound of my heart breaking. Oh no, everything I've built is falling apart. I'm sorry, I'm really so sorry. I rushed to apologize to Minami-san, but an angry voice echoed through the room. You are apologizing in the wrong direction. Your son beat Eiji-kun, an innocent man, in front of the public, spread false rumors to save his own skin, isolated him, and tried to kill him socially. Not only that, you even tried to threaten his family for your own self-preservation. Even information I did not know was leaked. In the end, everything is out. There is no escape now. My face turned pale as I looked at Eiji Aono's mother, to whom I had used strong words earlier. I almost collapsed from my knees, and then my head just gave way to gravity and I landed on the floor. Kneeling on the floor. It was not like I was told to do it, but I got down on my knees to ask for forgiveness. For the first time in my life, I am humbled by the total surrender to another person. And more than that, the fear of losing everything. The fear overcame everything. I apologize for being so rude to you earlier. I even got down on my knees to apologize, but my apology was mostly ignored in the gloomy atmosphere. I felt like a prisoner on death row, standing in hell. And the hell is still going on. Chapter 92 Ikijo Ari, Mother vs. Ragged Counselor. Although I continued to kneel, no one said anything. This uncomfortable silence numbed my mind. What are you doing, Kondo-san? A cold woman's voice was directed at me, as if stabbing me. Please accept my apologies. I told you many times. Get out of here. Who do you think would forgive someone who tried to damage the precious place left by the precious late husband? It's useless to do such a thing. I'll never withdraw the damage report. No, I'll definitely report the threats you made earlier as well. If you have something to say, you can say it to the police or in court. But I'm not obliged to listen to you. See you in court next time. Please, please, please think again. I keep banging my head on the floor. My head is tingling and bleeding a bit. It's so annoying. I just heard everything from Minami-san. It seems that you insulted the principal and Takaya Niji-sensei, who had worked so hard for Eiji, and implied that your stupid son had a bright future. My son has a bright future too. Don't make fun of me. Business talk? Let me tell you, for the sake of my son's reputation, which your son has damaged, I'll not retreat from this fight. Until you are destroyed, I'll never forgive you. I let out a silent scream when I saw the look on her face. Sorry. I'm sorry, saying that I could do nothing but retreat. Although it was September, the wind outside was so cold that my body was shaking. I didn't realize that my body was shaking by itself. And then, a black luxury car stopped in front of me. A student wearing my son's high school uniform got out. Her aura made me feel a little scared. Are you still here, Kondo-san? A strange girl is calling my name. In this situation, all I felt was fear. Why, my name, Uwa. Who are you? She had an intimidating aura, even though she smiled in an age-appropriate manner. My name is Ikijo Ari. Perhaps it would be easier for you to understand if I told you that I'm the daughter of XXX. Ah. Her father's name was a big deal. Everyone in the business knows it. It's the name of a monster, far above former Mayor Minami and Prefectural Assembly Amada. My blood suddenly ran cold. I thought I had heard of her somewhere, but it turned out that she was the student who had just received an award for saving a life, along with Eiji Aono. So the Aono family is also related to her father. What can I do for you? I accidentally used an honorific. A warning. I have checked you out. Everything you'll understand if I say it. I don't know what will happen if you or your son try to harm the Aono family again. I'll not allow you or your son to interfere with the restoration of Eiji Aono-senpai's honor. Why are all these big shots waiting behind this house? It's just a Western restaurant. Ah, but my son's future. If this goes on, my son will lose everything. No, me too. If they turn in the audio file of the threat I just made to the police, I'll go to the police too. You can't be like that. You should be held responsible for your actions and pay for them yourself. I have already been informed that there will be news about you tomorrow morning. Maybe it'll be about your son and your attempt to threaten the school. Why? It is too early. Did the school secretly record our conversation? If they did, that would be a breach of confidentiality. I heard that a reporter happened to be waiting in the reception room next to the principal's office. To cover our benefactors. You spoke so loudly, I'm sure they recorded you. This is completely self-destructive. A breach of confidentiality? If so, you should report it and sue the school. If you're brave enough. At this moment, I was made to understand that I was forced to play the role of a complete clown. Maybe it was the girl in front of me who made up the whole scenario. Is the girl in front of me really younger than my son? The more skeptical I became, the more intimidating she seemed. It's a lie, it's a lie, it's a lie. I collapsed to the ground and hit the floor with both hands in frustration. Blood oozed from my hands, but I couldn't stop the flow of emotion. Then, we will never see each other again, Counselor Kondo. I have dinner plans now, so if you'll excuse me. She walks past my collapsed body and heads for the kitchen. Her expression has changed from the cool one she had before to that of a girl her age. Takayaniji's Po V. After school. While I left the other teachers to check on the soccer team, I visited one of the students. I was convinced that he was supposed to be in the science lab class doing club activities. I knocked. Come in, he said, and I went in. He was preparing an alcohol lamp. Hey, Endo. Can I talk to you for a minute? I finally arrived. In the place of the other student, I had to save. Chapter 93 Takayaniji and Endo. Endo's Po V. I was preparing for an experiment in the science lab when Takayaniji-sensei came in. Was it about Aono's chemistry class? Or was it about Kondo? Both are possible. In a way, I committed a crime. So I'm ready to be punished. Takayaniji-sensei worked hard for Aono-kun. If he punishes me, I'll be happy. If I'm found out, I'll not make excuses. It's okay. I'm the only one here today, so can I come in? Yes, sure. Takayaniji-sensei laughed quietly. Since you're here, shall we brew coffee in a beaker? It looks like a science experiment. Sensei laughs when I make such a joke. Yes, there are a lot of scenes like that in novels. But I bought a can of coffee today. Cafe are you late? You want? I felt a little relieved by her attitude. Thank you. Are you sure, Sensei? Sensei laughs when I say that. I won't know if Endo keeps quiet. I've gotten a lot of help from you on the Aono case. This is just a small thank you. If that's the case, I want some of yakiniku. When I make a little joke, Sensei laughs and says, don't rob me. And I know from his reaction that he knows everything. So, what does Sensei need from me? I'm already prepared. Thanks to Imai-kun, I'm prepared. Even if I'm expelled, I'll look forward to the future. I'll study hard, take the high school graduation exam, and go to college. I'll break Kondo and Eiri's spell. I wanted to thank you for everything. And also to apologize. Sensei said something unexpected. An apology? Why? While my student was suffering, I couldn't see it until now. Endo. I'm really sorry. I probably pushed you too hard. I should have seen it earlier. I am very sorry. I left Endo to deal with Kondo and the soccer club on his own. I can't help but get emotional. Even my teacher in junior high school didn't treat me with this much sincerity. Why? But how much do you know about it, Sensei? Only recently did I realize that Endo was behind it. When the photos of Kondo and the others were sent to the school, I knew that this photographer had a strong grudge against Kondo. Maybe he was also working to shake up the soccer team. He was even willing to risk his own life to move for Aono. I looked into the students who were absent on the day the photo was taken and had ties to both Aono and Kondo, and Endo came up. I also looked into your background. Maybe you were working with the possibility of being found out. In the worst-case scenario, you were trying to hunt down Kondo, even if it meant sacrificing yourself. I think that's as good as it gets. My plan was to get to the point where Kondo or the soccer team would find out about me and come to retaliate. I would actually provoke a violent incident and put these guys in a situation where they would have no excuse. It was a desperate strategy. Kondo, with his strong desire for self-expression, would definitely think of revenge. Just as I was finishing the plan, the school took action to punish Kondo and the others. The speed was unexpected. Endo's plan worked. In fact, several members of the soccer team confessed to the school on Sunday. Along with some audio files and SNS message history, the school was able to get rid of the soccer team so quickly because Endo made the soccer team restless and anxious. Thank you for working for Aono. No, Sensei. I didn't do it for Aono-kun. I was just working for myself. That's all. Don't put yourself down like that. If you were just acting out of a personal grudge against Kondo, you could have moved a lot faster. But you did it for Aono. That's why you were willing to sacrifice yourself back then. Am I wrong? Even that excuse is just a way to avoid making Aono feel guilty. I feel helpless in front of Sensei who is trying to be there for me. I wish I had talked to him earlier. If I had met Takayaniji-sensei when I was in junior high school, my life might have been different. So don't go any further. Stay back, Endo. Rely on the adults. I know that you are a reliable person, but you don't have to sacrifice your future, you don't have to carry it all by yourself. You've been working hard all this time. Really, this Sensei. Thank you. I also want to entrust the materials I collected to sensei. I'm willing to accept any punishment. This is a burden off my shoulders. I'll give the rest to sensei. I appreciate that, but what do you mean by punishment? That's... Of course, you don't deserve any credit for skipping school, but if the photo thing was just a mistake and you dropped it. It just happened to be in front of the soccer club room. We can't punish a student for dropping something. When I heard these words, my emotions unexpectedly exploded. The cafe au late I drank to calm down was both sweet and bitter. Police station. Demoto-san. What should we do with the belongings of the student named Kondo? Will they be used as evidence? There's also the assault case. Besides, his cell phone is broken and doesn't work. My subordinate is asking for advice. Then send his phone in for analysis. If he knows the police are working on it, he might have deleted the message history or something, and we might be lucky to prevent it. If you suck out the data, you can retrieve it before it's completely wiped. Chapter 94 School Begin to Take Action. Takayaniji's Po v. After the meeting with Endo, we decided to hold a summary of the day's activities in the teacher's room. Many teachers worked together to confirm the situation and debrief about their respective situations. I was the first to speak. Aida and Ueda, who had bullied Aono by writing hateful words and curses on his desk, admitted that they had done it. They must have thought they couldn't get away with it when I showed them the SNS message history and the audio recording provided by a first-year soccer club member yesterday. They also admitted that they were involved in spreading false rumors, and they're slowly beginning to admit the existence of collaborators outside the soccer club. At first, the two resisted strongly, but the leaked data from inside became the deciding factor. According to Iwai-sensei, who confirmed the situation, the moment he showed them the copy of the message history data, they turned blue and started shaking. The student, who had admitted that he could no longer escape, began to talk about everything like a broken radio. I continued my report. As we thought, the mastermind is Kondo. Ueda and Aida followed the words of their respected seniors. They were also fascinated by the captain of the soccer club and participated in the bullying activities. After me, the vice principal continued with Kondo's latest situation. I see that Kondo is also being held by the police on charges of assault for directly hitting Eiji Aono, and for resisting and throwing objects at the police who came to question him about the situation, which is a current offense of disturbing public order. We just received an official notification from the police. In a way, it's good that Kondo, the root of all evil, can't move for now. This will help contain the further spread of confusion. Mitsuo-sensei followed suit. As for the false rumor about Aono-kun, Miyuki Amada, a second-year student, also confessed that she was involved. She dated Aono-kun, but had an affair with Kondo-kun and followed his sweet words to save her own skin. She said she faked her bruises to make herself look like a tragic heroine. She didn't expect the rumors to spread, but now that it had become such a big deal, she was too scared to deny it. When it was reported again that Amada, known as an honor student, had gone astray, many of the teachers sighed. If she had at least talked to me properly before it became such a big deal, maybe all these incidents could have been prevented. But she chose a different path. And this is unconfirmed information, but I have to report it to you all because Amada-san told me. I don't know if it's true or not, but it's something that the whole school needs to share information about. I heard that Aono-kun was about to commit suicide due to the shock of the affair and the false rumors being spread about it. When the teachers heard this, their eyes changed color. Aono was about to commit suicide. It was a sobering thought that maybe he was just hiding it and still suffering. Even Kumada-sensei, the physical education teacher, seemed unable to speak. Maybe it was the first day of school? Not knowing what was going on, I yelled at Aono-kun for trying to run away from school. I wish I could have asked him more about his situation. Damn! Kumada-sensei is famous for his strict teaching, but his good nature comes out at times like this. Shaking his large body, he used regret. No, then I, his homeroom teacher, should have been more responsible. I should have realized earlier. I should have searched for Aono myself instead of leaving it to the vice principal and Mitsuo-sensei. All I can remember is regret. I observed Aono-kun for about a week after this problem arose, and I still think the mental damage on the first day of school was significant. After the second day, he seemed fairly stable, but he may just be holding back, and I still think we should give him our best attention. As the teachers looked gloomy, the principal was the first to open his mouth. Thank you for the report. I think we need to stay close to the victim, Aono-kun, in the future. This is an important matter. As soon as this meeting is over, I will share the information with his parents. The school counselor will be here tomorrow, so we will work closely with her. The principal was very self-motivated when it really mattered. I was very grateful. And starting tomorrow, the media and others who heard the uproar may start to move as well. However, the students who are involved in this issue and who are involved in bullying must be severely punished. It's our responsibility to protect Aono-kun and the other students. We will never change this policy, no matter what pressure comes from outside. As Mitsui-sensei reported earlier, we may discover things in the future that are difficult to say. I want you to share this with everyone. I will take ultimate responsibility for all of this, so please rest assured that you can all do your jobs with peace of mind. End, the principal said emphatically as if he had made up his mind. This bullying problem has finally reached its peak. Chapter 95, Childhood Friend's Way Home. Miyuki's POV. I come home from school as if on the run. Normally, I would have enjoyed chatting after school, but my friends are gone now. No wonder. I've caused real damage beyond the level of annoying everyone. The alerts on SNS have been going off for a while. When I checked just now, I found that it's an unknown account with insults written on it. Lying B_TCH. Lousy, cheating B_TCH who dumped her childhood friend to save her own skin. B_TCH. Words like that were written all over it. It's obvious. It's all true. I told Eiji-sensei everything. How I met Kondo-senpai. How the violent incident happened. Why I was involved in such a conspiracy. What I said to Eiji, and what the story was about Kondo-senpai being arrested by the police. I told him that Eiji was about to commit suicide because of me. I told him everything. I should have told him a week ago, the first day the bullying started, but I was afraid. I really am the worst. I feel really sorry and want to cry when I think that Eiji had to go through such a painful time for no crime. I can't help it because I'm the reason. Because of me, everyone around him has become his enemy. Wherever he goes, he is surrounded by hostility and mockery. A living hell. I have brought him to such a place. Even if I apologize, it won't be forgiven. I really understood that after being in the same situation. That day, I spoke out of turn against Eiji. He was kind and always put me first, but I told him he was a violent stalker. Just thinking about it makes me so sad that I want to die. At that time, I was in a strange state of mind. What I had to weigh was the precious memories I had built up with Eiji over the 10 years we had spent together, or my own vanity. Now I know immediately which one to choose. Eiji is kind. That's why, even though I said such terrible things to him, he said he didn't want to damage the precious memories we had built up as childhood friends. I really am inferior in every way. His humanity, and his popularity with the people around him. He's completely different from me, who was just a superficial honor student. The people around me tried to help Eiji when he needed it, but I had no one on my side. Eiji worked for others all the time. No wonder, when I moved to this town, he was the first friend I made. My father left us. Mother chose this city as her new home, where it would be easier to raise her children. Eiji was the first person to make me realize the joys of the outside world, even though I was always crying. It is only natural that he should be rewarded for his hard work for others. I think I tried too hard to force myself to fill the gap in my heart that I could not fill. Eiji was kind and took care of me. I'm so stupid. The future that could have been and the memories I had carefully built. Having lost everything, I made my way home, knowing that these two illusions would become eternal burdens for the rest of my life. I had nothing left but deep regret. XXX video streaming channel. This is the next special report. We have obtained audio of a counselor threatening the high school boy and his family to cover up his son's violent behavior. The counselor appears to have extensively pressured the victim's family to cover up his son's criminal behavior. The audio will contain extreme statements. Please be warned. Some parts of the audio have been edited to protect their privacy. Please listen now. Caption: a voice that sounds like a counselor. My son is at an important time in his life as he prepares to enter college. I tried to get him into the athletic department at the university, and the university gave us a good answer. It's just a kid's fight. I think it would be better to avoid putting each other at a huge disadvantage over something as trivial as this. I would like to ask the school to keep a low profile in this matter. If such incidents become public, it could damage the reputation of the teachers and reduce the number of applicants for future entrance exams. XXX Sensei, consider this a business discussion. If you keep your mouth shut, I will do you a favor in the future. Or do you want to make an enemy of me and eat cold food all the time? Caption: a voice that seems to be a corresponding teacher. It's just a kid's fight. Shame on you, shame on you. Your son almost ruined a high school student's future. Caption, voice of what appears to be a counselor, addressing the victim's family. XXX-san. I'm a counselor and a contractor. If possible, I would like to settle this quietly. This restaurant is an important restaurant that your late husband left you, so you shouldn't make a big deal out of it. If I were serious, I could even do something about a restaurant like this. This is terrible. Are there still people on the city council who are so wrong nowadays? I am surprised. I saw young high school students on the news the other day doing their best to save lives. Excuse me, I couldn't help but say something inappropriate as a parent. We will cover this story in detail on tomorrow morning's newscast. Chapter 96 Endo and Yumi. Endo's POV. I saw the news on the internet about the destruction of Kondo and his family. No real names yet, but I guess it's just a matter of time. This will really complete my revenge in a way. If this spreads, Kondo's father will be finished. He will probably resign as counselor, and his main business, construction, will be ruined. It seems that Counselor Kondo's company uses his status to get contracts from the city and prefecture. It's a tradition of previous generations. If it fails, their lifeline will collapse. The Kondo family will probably have to pay damages for the bullying and violence, and their main business will be damaged even more, and they will go out of business. Now I can finally get my revenge. The day I had longed for several years had finally come, but my heart was not clear. Aono's honor hadn't been restored. He was the first friend besides Yumi to reach out to me when I was sinking into despair. Now that I think about it, I realize that he was a really important friend. If his honor is not restored, the true revenge will never end. As I stared at the ceiling with mixed emotions, my phone rang. It was a text message. I thought it was a friend from high school, and when I checked it, I saw a name I had missed. Yumi Demoto, good evening. Sorry for the suddenness. I wonder if you can find some time tomorrow night. I have something else I want to talk about. I knew the short time we had the other day wasn't enough. I'll have to buy Imai some ramen noodles next time. All these years, I've been in a perpetual loop of gloom and resentment toward Kondo. Now that is fading away, I miss my old middle school friends. I replied quickly, where shall we meet? I was surprised to find that I had already assumed that we would meet. Takayaniji-sensei said this to me. I think it's time for you to forgive yourself. Endo did his best. I think making yourself happy is also revenge on Kondo. You must be happy to be ended by him, and that's your duty. Until now, I didn't think I deserved it. I caused my parents a lot of trouble. As a high school ronin, I had no filial piety towards my parents. I almost lost contact with my friends. If I had been more determined about Ei's case, my future might have been different. That's why I always thought I was the worst person. But then I realized that it was just that idea that was causing pain to those around me and to myself. Both Imai and Takayaniji-sensei told me to forgive myself. Maybe I could move on. So I can finally face Yumi, whom I rejected and hurt. I want to return the favor. Maybe it is too late. If so, there's nothing I can do. All I can do is apologize. But at least I want to apologize sincerely. I need to tell her how much I appreciate her reaching out to me. See you tomorrow after school in front of the train station. There's a cafe I want to go to. Will you come with me? I replied quickly. I look forward to it. Counselor Kondo's POV. I received a message from my secretary asking me to check the online news immediately. What I had just said and done had been recorded and broadcast to the whole world. I'm sure the internet special team will soon find out who I am. And with Ari Akijo's threats, there was nothing I could do. That's the thing, if I make an enemy of her, I'll have more enemies than the media. No matter which way I go, I'm doomed. I cannot escape my fate of destruction. No, no way. No way. No way. Screams echo through the house. It is only a matter of time before I have to leave this house. The harsh reality is closing in. My phone rings. Is this the right number of Kondo-san? I'm sorry to call you at this hour, but my name is Nanami from the Nihon Asahi Shimbun. How did they get my number? Frightened, I hung up. But, immediately, a call came in from another number. I can't take it anymore. I turned off the phone. But soon the house phone rang. I unplugged it. I'm doomed. I realized that the only result of my actions was this. Not again. Please, the sleepless nights continue. Chapter 97 Mother and Daughter at Dinner Party. When I got home, Uncle Minomi, Yamada-san, and Ikijo-san were already there. I thought Ikijo-san was supposed to come home with me today, but she had something urgent to do, so she went home first and met me here. Welcome home, Eiji. Congratulations on your award, I'm really proud of you. Mom smiled and greeted me. My brother also smiled in silence. So did the adults around me and Ikijo-san. After the incident, the world that should have lost its color somehow became more vivid than before the incident. Thank you, mother, brother, everyone. Thank you all. Because of all of you, I was able to keep trying and not give up. Imagine, if I hadn't met Ikijo-san on the rooftop that time, I wouldn't have found this happy place. I realized that my fate changed in that place. I no longer wanted to die. I want to stay in this warm room forever. I wish this moment could last forever. Well, let's have dinner. We've reserved this place, especially for tonight. Your brother will cook whatever Eiji likes. Everyone laughed at that joke. Yes, thank you. Oh, Satoshi also said he would come here after the club activities. I see. So we've to make him lots of his favorite hamburgers. Mom says as if she already knows what my childhood friend likes. Satoshi contacted me. Apparently, he saw Kondo-senpai being taken away by the police. That makes me feel a little safer. I don't want to see that man in my life anymore. Mother told me that she filed a report for assaulting me. There may be times in the future when I've to testify about my painful experience at a trial or something. It depresses me a little when I think about it, but I don't want to run away from it. He ruined so many people's lives. I think I've to take responsibility for that too. So I'm going to fight. Thanks to a fun dinner party, it took me a little longer to realize that the phone in my bag was playing a happy notification sound over and over again. Is Po V. In the middle of a dinner party, Senpai's mother called me up to talk to her alone. A little nervous, I went to the break room. Ari-chan, thank you very much. She suddenly bowed deeply. Such life-saving matters are handled by Eiji-senpai. This isn't about that. I got a call from the school earlier that they found out that Eiji may have been thinking about committing suicide because of the bullying and violence. Maybe someone made a statement during the interrogation. It was heartbreaking. Both the mother and I knew the person who made the statement. We just don't want to mention her name. I knew I shouldn't have said anything at that time. I told Miyuki-senpai, and even indirectly, I made senpai's mother sad. Regret hurts my heart. You could see that Eiji was the kind of person who would never think of doing something like that. It was probably because after that violent incident, coupled with the betrayal and bullying, he was at his limit. At that time, I didn't even realize it. No, I didn't step in and help him when he needed it because I didn't think I should get involved. I made a mistake. It was you, Ari-chan, who saved Eiji. Even when he was being bullied, you stood by Eiji's side. I'm very grateful to you for saving my son's life. Thank you, Ari-chan. No, actually I was the one he was helping. Mom looked directly at me and nodded, saying that she understood everything. Still, you saved Eiji's life. Without you, our family would have regretted it for the rest of our lives. Thank you. As she said this, she hugged me as if I were her own daughter. After my mother died, I may never have felt such relief. I was the one who was saved. If it weren't for Eiji-senpai, I would have been crushed as well. Without saying a word, the strength of the embrace grew stronger. It seems that the mother noticed as well. That I almost died, too. A strange memory of the first day after summer vacation came back to me. It may be disrespectful for me to say this. I'm sorry for that. But I think I have to tell you anyway. Because of what happened with Eiji. Ai-chan, you're like our family now. I love you like a real daughter. Whenever you have a hard time, you can ask me or Eiji. You're not alone. If I lose you, I will regret it for the rest of my life, just like Eiji. Hearing these words, the thread of my patience broke. When I saw my late mother's face, I hugged her with all my strength. Chapter 98 Brother in place of father. Is Po V. I feel happy when my senpai's mom hugs me. I think my family was close until my mom died. Now I have what I lost. My fear melts away with the warmth and security of love given out of good intentions. I think my senpai is so kind to me because he grew up being loved by his mother and his late father. He always thanks me, but it's actually the opposite. He risked his life to show me this happy place, and no matter how many times I thank him, I will never be able to thank him enough. Ari-chan. You've worked so hard so far. You worked so hard and that's why we're here now. Please, pamper yourself. Hearing these words, the emotions inside me exploded. I poured out my feelings so honestly that I soiled her clothes and cried like a baby. I couldn't stop myself. I love him. My feelings for Senpai, who taught me that there was such a warm world out there, grew even stronger. Eiji's POV. Hey, Eiji. Satoshi's hamburger is ready. I put his favorite demi-glace sauce and a fried egg on it, so come and get it. My brother is calling from the kitchen. Mom says she needs to talk to Ikijo. So I carried the food, a big bowl of rice and a huge hamburger steak for Satoshi. The kitchen is filled with the aroma of happy demi-glace sauce. For us siblings, it was the smell of our father. This demi-glace sauce is the same one my father made when he started the restaurant. It's the basic seasoning for our signature dishes. This aroma is like a precious family memory that my brother inherited from my father. My brother told it to my mother and me when we were mourning my father's sudden death. I'm still immature. But until Eiji graduates from college, I will be Eiji's father, not his older brother. I may not be able to work as well as my father, but I will definitely take care of him until he becomes a full-fledged man. So, mother, please, let me take over Kitchen Aono. Since he became the second owner of the restaurant, he has devoted his precious time to the restaurant and his family while still in his young 20s. To the point that I think the only thing he enjoys is watching foreign dramas during his breaks. When I entered my current high school, he was more than happy for me. I really owe him more than I can say thank you. Eiji, that was amazing. I'm sure our late father in heaven is very happy about this. As for Kondo and the rest of those idiots, I'd like to beat them up myself, but mother won't let me. If I were stronger, I could have protected you better. Sorry, I immediately deny those words. No, Oni-san really works for me. All I can do is thank you. Thank you for everything. If it weren't for Oni-san, I'd probably be screwed. Hearing these words, my brother, who had looked away in embarrassment, was a little tearful. I see. Today's demi-glace sauce is our confidence product. You should try it. I'm sure father will be watching. I heard that the sauce will be replaced in about 3 months. Even though there was no sauce left that my father made, I could feel his warmth from the aroma. I took Satoshi's and my hamburger steak and returned to the table. Oh, it looks delicious today too. Speaking of which, Eiji, your phone has been ringing for a while. I think you're getting a notification. Come to think of it, I hadn't looked at my phone for a while, so I took it out of my pocket and turned it on. There it was, a massive notification from my new app. Hundreds of them. Notifications about rising in the weekly rankings. And a message from management. My life, which should have hit rock bottom, was now opening up in a different direction. Such a premonition was born in my heart. Chapter 99 Eiji's novel. I immediately checked the notification. There were many comments. The number of views was 40,000 in one day. I was surprised and a little scared. I didn't think what I had written was so bad that it would go viral. I immediately looked at the comments. I was a little confused with my feelings, even though it was a short story. But it was refreshing and really interesting. I'm looking forward to the next one. I have read it 3 times now. A masterpiece that is interesting no matter how many times I read it. Amazing. Perfection. Maybe the author is a professional writer under another name. A novel that made me feel good and inspired me to do my best tomorrow. I was depressed because I failed at work, but it all blew over. Looking forward to the book version. Most of the comments were filled with warm feedback. There were also a lot of really happy comments, pointing out some typos in my novel. I was so moved that my vision was moistened. I wrote this novel for the literature club, but I never thought it would reach so many people. A novel that was thrown away by the manager of the literary club. Thanks to Ikijo-san, I was able to get the manuscript back, and on her recommendation, I posted it on a website. I can't think straight anymore. I think it was all thanks to Ikijo-san. I ran to her when she came out of the back with my mother. Ikijo-san, look at this. I knew I had to tell her first. She's the one who helped me a lot. Hey, what's wrong? Oh, this is the novel from the other day, isn't it? 40,000 views? Amazing. The ranking is also in single digits. Even her usual calm was excited. It's good that she noticed the ranking, which I had overlooked. It's amazing. Eiji's novels are so popular. Hey, Oni-chan, Minome-san, look, Mother tells everyone without really understanding it. Senpai, what is this message? I click on the red letter from the management. It reads, Dear Eiji Aono-san, this is Maruyomu, a website for novel submissions. We have been contacted by XX Publishing about your work, and they would like to include it in an anthology of short stories that they will be publishing in the near future. They would also like to read other novels you have written if you have any. Please reply to this message whether this is possible or not. If possible, we will contact the publisher. For a moment, I didn't quite understand what was written. Ikijo-san was the first to open her mouth. Wow! I knew Senpai's novel was interesting. So much so that publishers approached you. Inspired by her words, we all screamed with joy at the same time. A happy time that I will never forget has begun. Managers Po v. Kondo-kun seems to have been caught by the police. I'm glad the SNS deletion went well in time. I know Eiji's family probably filed a report because of the recent violent incident and the false rumors he posted on the internet to humiliate him. Thank God I cut my losses so quickly. I don't want to be ruined by getting involved with that idiot. That's the way it is, and Amada can just go to hell. All I have to do is enjoy watching from the safe zone. I could watch the best situation from the best place. Then my phone rang. It was a junior member of the literature club. Senpai, we're in trouble. Please check Maruyomu's website. His novel, for some reason, it's at the top of the ranking. What are you talking about? Maruyomu, right? Wait a minute, at the top of the ranking, I found the title of a novel that shouldn't be there. Because that manuscript was once in the club room, I threw it away. Was there a backup of the manuscript data? But first of all, there is no way he could have put a novel on the website, in that state of mind. It must have been someone else's. It must have been another story that happened to have a similar title. There's no way that a junior would be recognized by the public before me. I don't want that to happen. A feeling of jealousy begins to swirl in my heart. Not believing that I was so close to realizing my hopeless inferiority, I opened the page of the novel. And I did not realize then that I had opened Pandora's box of despair. Chapter 100 Manager's Despair and Happy Promise. I read the novel while scrolling. I read it quickly, so I don't remember the details, but the story is exactly the same as Eiji's novel. In other words, this novel is his work. It mustn't have been long since he submitted it, but the numbers were growing at a frightening rate. It was the moment when his talent was revealed. This novel is interesting. I recognized it the first time I read it. The shock and jealousy that it was written by a junior flares up even more when I see this result. No. What is this? Why, I already destroyed him. Why is everyone praising him? After reading his novel, as a lover of novels, I even hate myself for admitting that I found his work unreservedly interesting. I admit to myself that I was completely defeated by him, the talent of a novelist. I was defeated by a younger student. He's far ahead of me, who should have been the best of my generation all along. I was left behind. I don't want to read it any longer. But what do others think of him? I can't help but wonder, is this seriously your first submission? A big newbie is coming. No, I'm sure he was a professional in disguise, too perfect. A high score is inevitable. Most of it was filled with praise for Eiji-kun. The public is right about him. With this result, there is even a possibility that the publishers will move on. The author's pen name was simply Eiji. I don't want to admit it. I can't admit it. Who would admit such a reality? I immediately searched through my novel data folder and uploaded the latest work I had written to the same submission site. I'm sure my work will get a higher rating than Eiji's novel. If it doesn't, my self-esteem will collapse. With a feeling of sadness, I'm betting everything I have worked hard for all my life. Little did I know that this was the gateway to my own destruction. Eiji's Po v. It was getting late and I had to drop Ikijo off. Everyone was smiling and happy. I think they were mentally exhausted from my bullying problem. I'm sure everyone is relieved. Thank you, Senpai, for bringing me home. It's okay. Thanks to Ikijo-san, the novel went well. I didn't do anything. It's all thanks to your skill. Saying that, she started to laugh. Thank you very much. I probably would have stopped writing if you hadn't saved my manuscript. I see. I'm glad I could return the favor, even if it's just a little. I'll pay you back. Let's get some cake next time, Junior says with a slightly mischievous smile. Is this an invitation for a date? I'm glad. Then I'll dress up. My body temperature rises sharply at the immediate teasing. To me, who can't say anything back, she nods in satisfaction and continues. The dinner party was fun. I never thought I could return to such a warm world. Really, it was thanks to Senpai. It's not enough just because I saved your manuscript. But can I say something selfish? I could feel Ikijo-san's loneliness oozing from every word she said. As her senpai, all I can do is answer her firmly. Of course, please continue to make many more wonderful memories like today together. She had a few tears in her eyes. Yes, I promise. No need to think about it. The answer came out of my mouth immediately. Thank you. I look forward to seeing you again in the future, promise. I wrap my little finger around her and smile back. I wish this happy moment could last forever. We walk slowly, sharing the same feelings for each other and the pleasant afterglow.